Tribune. 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 Tradoon. present to you the top 10 weirdest looking dinosaurs. I want to state the obvious and tell you that I'm going to be butchering the names of these dinosaurs.
Butchering the names of these dinosaurs.
In at number 8, we have the Tradoon.
In 1856, the fossilized teeth of a small dinosaur were discovered in Montana. The species was aptly named Troodon, which means wounding teeth.
Tradoon.
When evolution passed out the stealth gene, Troodons lucked out.
Tradoon.
This drawer contains almost all of the North American identified specimens of Troodon.
Troodon was every inch the predator, with razor-sharp serrated teeth and large, hook-like claws. Troodon probably fed on our ancestors, the early mammals. Troodon may have posed a greater threat to mammals than any other predator on Earth. The Troodon was suddenly cut down in its prime.
Tradoon.
Well, hello everybody. And welcome back to Paleontologizing. It is great to see all of you here today. Lordy, thank you so much for those 100 bits. Really appreciate that. Holy cow, we are going to have a fun stream today. So I hope you're ready for it. Whether you're watching live right now, hello all of chat. I'll get to you in a second. Or whether you're watching later on in the VOD or on YouTube, I'm glad you're here. Welcome to Paleontologizing. My name is Danny Anduza. I'm a dinosaur paleontologist. I'm here on Twitch trying to do some good old-fashioned science outreach. You know, this is my means of reaching out to the public, talking to people about my work and the work of my colleagues, trying to walk you through fossil science. Peel back the curtain and show you how paleontology actually works, you know? That being said, the bread and butter of these broadcasts is questions. That's the beauty of a live platform like Twitch, is that you can type questions into that little chat box, and I can read them and go over stuff with you live. It's an interactive medium, you know? I don't know why I'm explaining this. I guess it's for folks on YouTube if they're not familiar with it. Anyway, all of you watching right now, I hope you brought your best fossil-related questions, whether they're about dinosaurs in particular, or whether you're curious about broader topics. Maybe a different kind of critter other than dinosaurs from the fossil record. Maybe you're wondering about extinction or evolution or how science works. You know, what sets science apart from other ways of knowing in a philosophical sense. It doesn't matter, any of that stuff. We'll talk about it. If you're curious about it, I'm here to discuss it with you. Let's talk paleontology. But before we do that, and before we get into some fossil news today, we didn't even have a chance to do that yesterday because we had so many wonderful questions. We'll see if we get to our exciting fossil news today. Before we do any of that stuff, let me scroll through chat here and say hello to everybody. Do some greetings. We'll get this thing kicked off. Travel the World. How are you doing? Welcome, Travel. It's great to see you. I hope all is well. Bliss9. Howdy, howdy. Hope you're doing well, too. It's good to see you. Kodali 2010. What's shaking? Layer T. Yes, indeed. Welcome, Layer T. Lenina, good afternoon to you and to Blue. Lenina, hope you're both doing well. I heard, I think I saw on the bird website, you've got some ice down there in the southern United States. I hope you're faring well with that, Lenina. Yeah, I'm glad you're here. Arle, how are you doing? Welcome, welcome. Great to see you. Hope you're having a good day too, Arle. Claire Burr, howdy, howdy, Claire. How are things? Welcome back, Claire. And like Lenina, Claire, thank you for all your moderation work. You know I appreciate that. I still feel like I don't say it enough, but appreciate you. Goes for all the moderators here. Paleontologizing. Who's that? Oh, that's me. Ali J, how are you doing? Welcome, welcome. Great to see you here. Glad you could make it, Ali J. Always makes me smile to see you here. Luna Seer, Tradoon to you too. How are you doing, Luna Seer? Welcome, welcome. Aditya Yelkar, how are you doing, Aditya? Great to have you here too. And Moondrop Soup, hello to you. Welcome back. It's good to see you. I like that sub badge next to your name. That's good stuff. Yeah. Who else have we got? Scrolling down. Big Bad Lobo. Bienvenidos, Big Bad Lobo. It's good to have you here. A truck horn. Howdy, howdy. Hello to you too. XF Kirsten. How are you doing? Welcome back, Kirsten. Mudman1965. Hi to you also, Mudman. I'm glad that you've made it. It's good to see you here. Gargoware. Hello, hello. Welcome back. And Smorphosaurus. How are you doing, Smorf? I'm glad you could make it today. And Lilith Hobo. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with the Twitch platform right now. It's a very active place. There's always something going on, you know? Down the volume just a titch. And Tactile 3D Picture, how are you doing? Tactile says, question, raptors, it seems, could have poisonous skin like poison dart frogs? No, they don't. Birds of prey, raptors don't, yeah. Google Images is taking forever. Come on. Yeah. So, birds of prey. Oh. Chris TS. Look at all those chickens. Chris TS, thank you so much for the 6 months of support. Really appreciate that. Thank you, Chris TS. Yeah. So, raptors includes hawks, vultures, owls, eagles, and falcons. It's actually this is like a paraphyletic group. Not all of these critters are each other's closest relatives. Like falcons are actually more closely related to parrots, as we discussed a while ago. But none of these guys have any kind of poison. Yeah. Maybe small ones before food to change the state into adulthood. I'm not sure I know what you mean, Tactile. But yeah, but these guys... Yeah. I know vultures sometimes have all kinds of nasty bacteria on them, but no poison to my knowledge. Yeah. Ziggy Nightmare, how are you doing? Welcome, welcome. Great to see you here. Trappy Jenkins, hello. Thanks for being here, Chappy. And Lordy, I'm so sorry you're not feeling well right now. Yeah, I hope you and I also are taking care of each other, and yeah, shoot, feel better soon, okay, Lordy? I miss your streams and stuff. And let's see, who else have we got? Victarius, how are you doing, Victarius? Welcome. And Ziggy Nightmare, how are you doing? Welcome back to Paleontologizing. And Rilo Rolo says, hey, good day, sir. Good to see your stream again. Good to see you in chat again, Rilo Rolo. Welcome back. How you doing? Yeah. Origin TT, good to see you here, darkening my door, or chat, as the case may be. Welcome back. Good to see you. Zalok, howdy. No, Zalok's got a question. What was the last step before bird beaks? Oh, I don't know how to answer that. So there's a lot of dinosaurs, non-avian dinosaurs, that developed toothless beaks. It actually happens a lot. Maybe I'll show you a dinosaur that's kind of in between. It's in the process of developing a toothless beak. Kind of, we would, I don't know. People who are less careful about their words might call this a missing link. But it's not missing. It's just a link, like all living things are when you line them up. This is Cotylyrhynchus here. And come on, let's give us a big one. There we go. There's the skull of Cotylyrhynchus. I actually have this 3D printed right over here. Give me a second and I'll grab it. But Cotylyrhynchus is a therizinosaur dinosaur. And it's developing a toothless, what we call rhamphitheca, like a toothless beak at the front of its mouth. What it looked... man, Google image search, it seems like it just gets worse and worse every day. But, there you go. Yeah. So the parts that are in kind of cream-colored or white-colored, that's the bone of the skull. And then they've put kind of that keratinous beak over the front of it there so you could see possible extents of that beak. But, yeah, this is an animal that's, like, actively starting to, you know, it's in the process of losing its teeth. And, developing a toothless beak at the front of its mouth. Let's see if I can find that. That should be on, let's skip this song. There we go, that's better. I think you can find it on Sketchfab. I think that's where I got it, actually. Amargasaurus. There we go. Yeah. Very nice. So, this dinosaur did not evolve into birds. I want to make that very clear. Why is it so blurry there? Let's try a different one. Maybe this one will be better. But it is a very bird-like dinosaur. It's part of the same group that evolved into birds, the theropods. Maniraptoran theropods. And you'll see right here at the front of its lower jaw, it's not got any teeth there. There's no tooth sockets either. It's not like the teeth just fell out. There's no sockets for any teeth. So this animal is, yeah. This group is like losing their teeth entirely. And look at the upper jaw. The teeth stop right here. So, yeah. Shoot, all along this margin there, the teeth are gone. And you'll see there's these little pits right here. These are for some kind of nutrient transfer to the keratinous sheath on the beak. A beak is just like your fingernails. It's made of keratin, and it's kind of like a living part of the animal. Like, it grows, and it needs a nutrient supply. So that's what those little pits are for right there. But yeah, this is Cotylyrhynchus, which is a therizinosaur. It's from the theropod group of dinosaurs. Yeah. And, let's see. Let's look at some large size images, shall we? There we go. That's a really nice Cotylyrhynchus there. I love this one. Beautiful. Check that out. Yeah. Very, very nice. So yeah, this evolved from meat-eating ancestors. It's a big, floofy, herbivorous weirdo. They're adapting to feed almost entirely on plants, it seems. Probably. Yeah, they're really cool. They're really cool. So, so that is one of the steps before a bird-like beak, Zalok. Does that make sense? Does that answer your question, Zalok? I hope it does. Yeah. And let's see here. And, oh no, you're good, Ali J. I'm glad you're here at all. Shoot, you don't have to apologize for not being super present yesterday. You were at work, I get it. Shoot. It's great to have you here at all, Ali J. And, Galara Dragon says I'm lurking-ish. I don't see the captions, even though they seem to be on. That's because I had to reload the page. They should be working now. Sorry about that, Galara Dragon. Captions should be good now. Yeah. And, who else have we got? Eagle Star Trucker. How are you doing? Welcome, welcome. Thanks for the lurk. And, Benny Arola. How are you doing? I hope all's well with you, too. Alright, try to make my way down to the bottom of chat. Lordy says both she and Ios are watching from their sickbed. Oh, Lordy and Ios, I hope, like I said, I hope you're taking care of each other. Yeah, let me know if I should bring you anything after my stream. But yeah. And Eagle Star Trucker says, are there any dinosaurs that have a septic bite, like T-Rex or a septic claw? I've heard T-Rex teeth have channels in them like Komodo dragons. Not really. I mean, I'll show you a T-Rex tooth. Komodo dragon teeth also don't really have channels in them. Here's a Tyrannosaurus tooth right here. This is a resin cast of the real thing. This is one of B-Rex's teeth. B-Rex MOR 980, I think is the specimen number. And they don't, you know, as far as theropod dinosaur teeth go, they don't have any special recesses or anything like that. They're abnormally, you know, thick for teeth. Excuse me. You know, very wide in cross-section like that. But, yeah, there was an idea introduced a long time ago that maybe, you know, dinosaurs like T-Rex would have had kind of a septic bite. But we don't really have any good evidence to think... Well, we don't see any special adaptations in their teeth for that. I'll put it that way. There's nothing special about their teeth that would encourage bacterial growth or anything like that. Just like I don't think there is for Komodo dragons either. We might actually be talking about Komodo dragons a fair bit later, too. I still have a package to open up from Lenina and Blue related to Komodo dragons, I think. So maybe we'll do that today. Very excited. We just didn't really have an opportunity early this week. But, yeah. Here, I gotta check on something real quick, too. I just remembered. Keep an eye on the 3D printer. It's not doing anything right now. But keep an eye on that, and I will be right back. There we go. Yeah. Ellie Lassetti, how are you doing? Welcome back. Good to have you here. And, Haraz, howdy. Great to have you here, too. Yeah. Oh, in Eagle Star Trucker, dinosaurs with septic claws. We don't have any evidence of that either. Yeah. Yeah. That being said, I would not encourage you to go back in time and get clawed or bitten by any kind of theropod dinosaur. Because, yeah, you can get infected by all kinds of stuff. But it doesn't seem like any dinosaurs had any specially evolved adaptations for that kind of thing, if that makes sense. Yeah. And it's keratin red. L.A. Lassetti. Keratin. Oh, keratin. No, keratin is usually by itself, if it's not colored, it's kind of like a whitish or... You know, it's like fingernail colored. It can't... Well, actually... You know, I don't know. I think in its raw state, it is basically like a translucent, whitish kind of color, like our fingernails or a cat's claw or something like that. You know, like fingernail clippings. That's keratin. But human hair is also keratin, and it has pigment in it also. I think in its raw state, keratin is like fingernail clippings color. Yeah. And, yeah, and that makes far more sense now. Good, Zella. Good. I'm glad. Happy Wednesday to you too, Triceratops79. Great to have you here. Dr. Javasaurus, good day to you also. Welcome back. Hope it has been a good day for you so far. And one cat short of Crazy 12. How are you doing? So glad you got a gift sub from Ash Girl. That's lovely. One cat short. Welcome back. Yeah. But, yeah. And, Tactile says the saliva carries the poison bacteria in Komodo dragons, I think. Says Tactile, there's debate about that. That's a subject of ongoing research and argument among, zoologists, chemists, people who study this kind of thing. Do Komodo dragons only have you know, dangerous bacteria in their mouths? Or do they also have venom also? We've got evidence for both of these two scenarios. Which to me is kind of crazy that we don't know this absolutely for certain yet. Despite these being living animals that we can go out and study in the flesh today, right now, you know? They're not extinct. It's not like we have to speculate about these things. These are living critters that we can run tests on, and we still don't have a definitive, like, there's no strong consensus about that. So yeah. Fabricineo says, good night, folks. How are you doing, Fabricineo? Howdy, howdy. Good to have you here. Buster Punker. And the root of the tooth also seems longer than in today's species. Yeah, for Tyrannosaurus. Holy cow. This is the part of the tooth that would extend up out of the jaw. This all down here is the root of the tooth. So, yeah, you can kind of see that line right about there, where it goes from kind of smooth enamel to, you know, kind of scrungy-looking tooth root. Yeah. But, I mean, this is a tooth that the animal would have been using while it was alive. The thing is, these guys are constantly replacing their teeth. So once the tooth gets old enough, and a new tooth is getting ready to replace it, the root actually starts to, like, dissolve in the animal's mouth. And, like, it just kind of slowly gets eaten away. I guess osteoclasts are eating away at it. Little bone cells that, like, dissolve bone. And then you get a shed tooth, and the shed tooth will be, you know, it'll be like the top part, like that. Yeah, shed teeth tend to be a lot more blunt. We would call them spitters in the field. Because it's like, say we're talking about a duck-billed dinosaur. You know, like, let's say, for instance, Brachylophosaurus in, say, the Old Man Formation of Montana. Yeah, dinosaur like this. It's walking around, it's doing its thing. It's chewing on plants, and then they'd, I guess, spit out. Or the teeth would somehow leave the jaw and end up on the ground where they could be buried and preserved as fossils. Whether they're actually spitting them out, like the term spitter implies, or whether they're accidentally swallowing the tooth, and then they poop it out later, or what? You know, it's hard to say. But, yeah. Anyway, cool stuff. Cool stuff. Tankhides, how are you doing? Hey, Tankhides, welcome, and welcome to Corporate Mold 27. Harry Horror sent me. Yeah, that was wonderful to be able to raid Harry Horror Show yesterday. And I'm excited at the prospect of, I gotta talk to him about maybe doing a joint stream at some point. Something where our two areas of expertise kind of interweave. Like, I know he streams about, like, urban legends and, like, conspiracy theories and, like, spooky myths and things like that. You know, I stream about fossils as a dinosaur paleontologist. That's, you know, I dig up dinosaur fossils, I study them, I publish on them in the scientific literature. All that good stuff. I think I've come up with some places where our two subject matters can kind of, where that Venn diagram will overlap. Maybe we'll talk about the, like, Loch Ness Monster legend, or Mokili Mbembe, or, I don't know, something like that. Yeah. Anyway, I gotta talk to Harry, but, man, he does very, very slick productions. I always appreciate the incredible amount of effort that he puts into those streams in order to teach everybody something. I think that's something I really admire. Good stuff. He knows what he's doing. And, yeah, honored to share this platform with him, you know, here on Twitch. But anyway, welcome, Tankhides and Corporate Mold. Let me know if you've got any questions, okay? Yeah. And Bliss9 says, I, for one, wouldn't want to get close to a Komodo to study it. Well, shoot, I'm hoping to get close to some Komodo dragons for research purposes at some point, Bliss9. But yeah. I've got some other projects with some less formidable animals that I'm going to have to tackle first. And I'll tell you about those when they're a little bit closer to publication. But yeah. You wonder how dentistry would be different for dinosaurs? It would probably be non-existent, XF Kirsten. Because unlike mammals, as mammals, we only have 2 sets of teeth for our whole lives. You know? You got your baby teeth when you're young, and then you've got your adult teeth, and you better take care of those. Or, oh boy, you're in a world of hurt. Dinosaurs weren't like that. They were replacing all their teeth all the time. And they were breaking teeth and stuff like that, too. Their teeth, on average, were not quite as hardy as mammal teeth, but they had an infinite supply of them. As long as the animal's alive, it's growing new teeth, you know? Never stops. So, yeah. And Lenina likes the idea of hadrosaurs expectorating teeth across the environment. Yeah, just going... ting! You know. I like that idea as well. Oh, there's a Tyrannosaur back there trying to make a meal of that other duck-billed dinosaur. See that? Are these Pro-Brachylophosaurus? Who are these guys? Or are they Brachylophosaurus? Anyway. Cool stuff. Yeah, so exactly, Lenina. Practice excellent dental hygiene, folks, because you are not a dinosaur. You get 2 very wonderful sets of teeth, but again, it's only 2 throughout your whole life. And pretty much everybody watching right now has got their adult teeth at this point, I presume. This is an all ages stream, so, you know, I'm sure we've got kids here too, and hello kids, I hope you're having a great time if you're watching. But, yeah, anyway, take care of your teeth. You're not a dinosaur. You're a mammal. We've got a very finite supply of teeth. Like 60 throughout our whole lives in 2 sets, you know? So, yeah. And Ellie Lassetti says, how long after the meteorite hit 65 million years ago did it take for them all to die out? It was probably pretty quick. And also, Eli Lassetti... I bet you somebody else in chat has already pointed this out. If not, let me show you here. This is our chronostratigraphic chart. So this is a time chart going back millions of years. We're up here at the very top, the end of the Cenozoic. The end so far. It's ongoing. This is sometimes called the Age of Mammals. But we go down here at the junction between the Mesozoic and the Cenozoic, or more specifically the Cretaceous period and the Paleogene period, the KPG boundary. That is 66 million years ago. As you can see right there, 66. We used to think it was 65, but dating methods have improved over recent years, and nowadays we recognize that was 66 million years ago that the asteroid hit. The one that wiped out all of the dinosaurs, except for birds. Some birds managed to squeak through, or chirp through, as the case may be. And, today they're just about everywhere. But that was 66 million years ago. Despite what you may have seen in, yeah. In this. Oh, goodness. I actually did a recut trailer here. Yeah. Because this is titled 65. The assumption is that he goes back in time 65 million years and encounters all kinds of non-avian dinosaurs. Well. I took that trailer and I recut it. Would you like to see that, chat? Type a 2 in there into chat if you'd like to see it. Yeah. And Jenna Strand, QC? Are you new, Genestrain QC? You just changed your name. Seems people want this. Well, let me show you this trailer that I have recut here. Take a look.
Location unknown.
Charter 373. This is Commander Mills. My ship was hit by an undocumented asteroid. Send help.
We've crash landed on an uncharted celestial body.
Location unknown.
The atmosphere is breathable. There's something alien out there. You need to be quiet and move.
Anyway, do you get it? When the asteroid actually hit 66 million years ago, a million years before he crash landed, 66 million years ago, all the non-avian dinosaurs got wiped out. So if he'd landed after the asteroid impact, a million years after, he might encounter some of our ancestors, little squeaky mammals that had also managed to survive. Anyway, Jenistran, I'm glad you appreciated that. Yeah. But, and yeah, 66 is in your head now? Good, Ellie Lissetti. I mean, it was only like 2012, 2013, 2014 that we actually had more precise dating methods and could pinpoint the date more acutely for the asteroid impact. But yeah, now we know it's 66. So, we rode on the meteor like Slim Pickens. There you go, except Kirsten. Yes. Dr. Strange Mammal. And the Lynx himself, thank you for that follow 3 minutes ago, by the way. Really appreciate that. Yeah. NASA's DART mission hit an asteroid back, so Earth got revenge. I like that, Buster Punker. Although, like Stephen Jay Gould is fond of saying, or was fond of saying, before he passed away years ago. Let's see. Let's see if I can find you that clip, actually. Yeah. Yeah. And Eagle Star Trucker. We were just talking about that the other day. If this time travel stuff was accurate, there'd be an awful lot of people being teleported out into space from the planet where the planet used to be. There you go, Eagle Star. Yeah. Alright, let me see if I can find... Where is Gould talking about this? there's our clip there. That I happened to grab for the, for that trailer recut. But is it? I want to say it's from this. With Gould talking about this kind of thing. Anyway, say hello to your great, 100 million times great grandmother, grandfather. It wasn't really an opossum. Because we didn't evolve from marsupials, per se. We're from a different branch on the mammal family tree. I don't know if I'm going to be able to find that. Shoot. Anyway, Stephen Jay Gould, like just about every paleontologist nowadays, says that if that freak event hadn't happened, if that asteroid had somehow missed the Earth, there's no reason to think that dinosaurs, the non-avian dinosaurs, would have gone extinct when they did. It is the luck of the draw. It is... We got very lucky. You know? Dinosaurs had been very successful here on Earth for like 160 million years. They were still going strong, no sign of decline. There's no reason to think that our puny little ancestors would have ever come to dominate the Earth if they hadn't had the slate wiped clean for them by an asteroid, you know? They got a huge leg up there. I mean, yeah. There's probably a video game term for that kind of thing. But, man, did they get lucky there. Holy cow. Yeah. Go for Fluffernuts says, did you get my mail? Is this it right here? Fluffer, let me know. Because I will open it. I've been waiting for somebody to ask me about that. Yeah. You watched the VOD with the printer noise in the background. Oh, yeah, Oscar Jr. Shoot. Yeah. 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 When our moment came, we were ready. It's true, Victorious. It's true. And go for Fluffernut. I will open this right now. I've taken pains so as to not dox you by covering up the return address with some masking tape there. Let me get my letter opener out. And thank you, Gopher, for sending this to me. What is this going to be? Is it okay if I open it on stream? Gopher, let me ask first. I want to make sure that's okay. If you don't, yeah, if you're a little shy, that's okay. I can open it up off stream. Of course. Okay, great. Well, let's have a look. Look at that! Holy cow! Do you know what this is, chat? Do you know what this is? Holy moly. Oh, I'm excited about this. That is a pressed penny with a dinosaur design. Longtime viewers know that I collect pressed pennies, most especially those with fossil-themed designs, particularly dinosaurs, and that is super, super exciting. Holy cow. Take a look at that. Very nice. I even know where they got this image from. That's pretty funny. From Portland, Oregon. OMSI. What does that stand for? Probably... Is it Oregon Museum of Science and Industry or something? OMSI? But yeah, look at that beautiful Tyrannosaur there. That looks like Daspletosaurus. Is there a note? It was not. But thank you, thank you. Go for Fluffernut. I really, really appreciate that, and I will add that to my collection. Fantastic. Oh, man, this makes me so happy. But yeah, that image right there, that Daspletosaurus right there. Take a good look at that pose, that silhouette, because I'll show you where that came from.
really spectacular. Spared no expense.
Bliss9 gifted a tier 1 sub.
And thank you, Bliss9, for gifting. Go for there. Bliss9, thank you, thank you. That is excellent. Holy cow. Here, that would have been Journey, Age of Dinosaurs. Stamps. Here we go. Yep. There we are. Right there. That Daspletosaurus is... See, when you've been interested in dinosaurs for as long as I've been, you know, you start to recognize some of this stuff. You know, these images become like old friends, and you'd recognize them anywhere, you know? So that Daspletosaurus right there, from, what was this, 1996, 1997, is the same one as right here. See? You see the resemblance, chat? Yeah. Very nice. This is actually one of the best pressed penny dinosaur designs I've ever seen. And because it was inspired, I'll be charitable and I'll say inspired by this. Really excellent. Yeah. Good stuff. Thank you, Go for Fluff or Not. Very generous of you. And that is right up my alley. I have a growing collection of pressed pennies like this. Would you like to see some of my other fossil-themed ones? Some of these albums out. This right here. Here we go. Have a look. Man, I need to get up my ratchet and retighten the bolts on this right here. But yeah, Milwaukee Public Museum, Triceratops. Science Museum of Minnesota right there. Another Science Museum, Minnesota. Yeah, North Dakota Heritage Center. Museum of Idaho. I've got a whole bunch of these. Let me see. There's some really nice ones from the museum in Thermopolis, Wyoming. Love that Triceratops there. Good stuff. This is from the museum I used to work at, Museum of the Rockies in Bozeman, Montana. Right here. Yeah. Good stuff. Good stuff indeed. A whole bunch of fossil-themed ones. These are some of my prized possessions, you know? Yeah. There's the Cabazon dinosaurs in Cabazon, California. Yeah. 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 Anyway, lots and lots. Come on, focus, camera. You can do it. Lots and lots and lots and lots of pressed pennies. I have 4 albums now like this. The 4th one is still empty. I need to fill it up. But I've got pressed pennies to fill it with. And now, go for fluff or not, I can add this. And I am very excited. So, thank you kindly. That is beautiful. It really is. Excellent. Excellent. Yeah. And are they all unique? Necromancy? Yeah. Yeah, I might have there might be 1 or 2 duplicates in there, but for 99% of them are unique. Yeah. I have a bunch of duplicates in a bag, too. Sometimes I make duplicates whenever I'm pressing pennies at different locations. You know, sometimes you accidentally do the same one twice, sometimes the machine messes up, so I pocket those, and I keep them if I ever need to trade with another collector, you know? Yeah. So yeah, yeah. Yeah. 3D printed pennies. Well, they're not printed, but they are And I guess they're more like 2D pennies, honestly. I don't know how 3D they are anymore. You know, it's like my my Uncle Russ always used to say. He'd say, you know, a penny saved is a penny earned, but a penny squished is 51 cents. Because you've got to put in 2 quarters with the penny into the machine, and you get it. Anyway, yeah. And Kirsten, yeah, I don't really like those very much. All of them are $1 to make now, which, again, I'm on a budget, Kirsten. I can't afford, you know. I'm not made of dollars. But they provide the penny, and I don't like that either because I take great care to use copper pennies. The U.S. Mint changed from copper-coated pennies to zinc-coated pennies in the year 1982. And so yeah, if you get a penny from after 1982, it's going to be zinc-coated, and those don't press as well. They're not as pretty. So serious collectors insist on the copper pennies, which are harder to find nowadays, but I don't know. My dad and my stepmom went through a huge container of change before I left this past June, July, and August. They went through a huge thing of change and picked out all of the pre-1982 pennies for me, and I cleaned them, and I'm still going through those. There were like hundreds of them, which is pretty excellent. So yeah. Got plenty of cents, though? I suppose so, Benny Rolla, yeah. Anyway, thank you again to Go for Fluff or Nut. I really appreciate that, and I will treasure that. It's going to go right in my collection. I'll show you once I get it in there. I've got some other ones that I need to reposition first, or else I would do it right now. But, yeah. Tank Hide says I collect bad choices and regret. Oh, Tank Hides.
Appreciation and gratitude. Thank you very much for the 100 bits.
Thank you, Travel the World. Is that right, Travel the World? Well, it is true that a penny actually costs more than 1 penny to produce. So the U.S. Mint, the United States Mint, actually loses money on every penny that they make. But that's also true for other things, too. Like, I think dollar bills might cost more than $1 to make. I think nickels cost, like, 35 cents to make or something like that. So there are a lot of coins that... Yeah, anyway. It's not the government's job to make a profit, you know? It's to provide for the people. But anyway, there are a lot of people who have been trying to get the U.S. to also abandon the penny, like Canada did. I don't think it's going to happen anytime soon, because apparently the zinc lobby is very powerful. I'd rather live in a world, however, where, I don't know, deflation makes it so that you can buy things with a penny again, you know? I'd prefer to live in that world. But yeah, pennies for the people. There you go, Necromancer, yes. Yeah. Anyway. And gameplay, this is true. Yeah, coins do. I think that's why dollar bills are proportionally more expensive. It's because they have to be replaced more often. Yeah. And, you know, wealthy people aren't really, you know, how are they going to light their big fancy cigars? They use a $100 bill. They burn it, you know, and then they kind of light the end of it with that. You can't do that with a coin. Or at least it's considerably more difficult. You'd have to use lighter fluid or something. Anyway. So the number of coins that get destroyed by wealthy cigar people, much lower than that for dollars. So yeah. And if pennies were steel and had a hole in the middle, we could use them as washers. Yeah, Bobo Banks. I've used coins for stuff like that before too. Yeah. Sometimes you don't want to go all the way to the hardware store to buy washers. Just drill holes in some coins. How you doing, Blonde Bean? Welcome back. Good to see you here. Yeah. And in Lilithobo, you can still use pennies in Canada. Really, it's not illegal? They won't lock you in the Queen's Dungeon or whatever? Yeah. Who is the Queen of Canada nowadays? I don't know. Anywho. That is a loaded question. Yeah. The Queen of... King Charles Spaniel? Really, Jennistrand? Huh. That's cool. I like dogs also. I don't know. I'll never understand the whole monarchy thing. But I don't have to. You know? Not for me. You know what I am here to understand and to help explain to you is some exciting fossil news. So, and Ellie Lassetti, what are my thoughts on bringing back the woolly mammoth? We'll be talking about that tomorrow, Ellie Lassetti. Eli Lassetti, along with bringing back the dodo. We're going to be talking all about that tomorrow. I first have to read up on, what was it, Rhaphis something? Rhaphis is the genus name for the dodo. I don't remember the species name. But these wonderful columbiform birds, or I don't know, they're related to doves and pigeons, from the island of Mauritius. We'll be talking all about them tomorrow and about attempts to potentially bring them back. We'll be talking about what that means, why that may or may not be a feasible idea in the first place. But yeah, for right now, we are going to do some fossil news. Rhaphis cuculatus, thank you, Anandusha, and welcome back. It's good to see you here. Yeah. And, but yeah. Yeah. What do you say? Whoa, actually, before we get to some fossil news, I want to show you something real quick here. In fact, it's on the Accursed Bird website. So let's play the video sting. Our social media video sting. Right here. Now, for once, our social media video sting really rings true. I mean, holy cow. Have a look at this. I've been thinking about this a lot today. Have a gander at that, and let me change out the battery on this light that just went dead a second ago. But, yeah, hang on. Let's see, how's that? That's too bright now. Here we go. This really did make me sad. So, this person posted a video of a giant anteater. And they said, I'm so confused. Like, what the heck? And I'm looking at this and I'm going, it's an anteater. Why are you confused? It's an anteater. It's a giant anteater. It's one of my favorite modern mammals. They're really, really cool critters. And I'm actually going to be looking at some of their relatives for an upcoming project. But, yeah. Anyway, all of these replies in here. What am I seeing here? Looks like an experiment they done with its DNA or something. Who knows? Interesting, though. Wow, how's that for evolutionary genetics? Amazing. No, what is going on? Why? I don't understand what people are confused about here. Like, it's a giant anteater, you know? So they live in South America. They're pretty well-known critters. I mean, they're very charismatic animals. Got a long snoot like that with a tongue that comes out. They eat insects. They're very, very cool critters. And, they're also, like, they could be fairly dangerous, too. I mean, like, people have been killed by them. Do not mess with anteaters. But, I don't know, I don't understand what the confusion was about. There are all of these people who are watching this. And I was going through all the replies here. And there are some people going, whoa! Like, wow, what have scientists done? Like, I'm so scared. Like, clearly this is people, you know, messing with nature where they shouldn't have, and why does it have ghost legs and shoes coming out of its stomach or something? And then I realized people are talking about the glass here. There's glass in front of it. Because, you know, this is in a zoo, and it's behind glass. Yeah. And Ick in Trunks says the closest leg caused pareidolia. Pattern searching, really? Looks like another head? No, it doesn't. What? Are you saying that people are looking at this and they're thinking that the forelimb here is another head? But its other forelimb is right back there. How do... No. Hang on. Did anybody else in chat think the same thing? 100% says Necromanty. Really? That was your first thought, says Haraz? Oh. So is that... Oh, goodness. Maybe that's what people were saying there in the comments then. 3 legs, 2 different heads. That's interesting. I mean, just the idea to me that anybody would be this unfamiliar with this remarkable animal is, like, really sad. You know? This is one of the coolest mammals that we have walking around today. They are incredibly interesting critters, and the fact that anybody would be that unfamiliar with it just makes me... I don't know. It's like we, the people who are doing science, you know, studying organisms, talking to the public about them, we're not doing a good enough job if there are that many people who are, like, not familiar with these critters. Yeah. But yeah. You've not seen many anteaters, Haraz? Let's solve that right now, shall we? These are one of my favorite extant mammals. Anteaters are incredibly fascinating creatures. They really are. Yeah. Giant anteater. 25 million years and counting. Let's take a look at this. Look at this incredible creature here. What a neat critter. I think they're part of group Edentata, but it's not like that means that they have no... That's the name of their taxonomic group. But anyway, yeah. Anybody here have any insect porridge and yogurt for breakfast? It's a healthy way to start the day. Packed with protein, you know? They're so
Flick
cool.
up to 150 times a minute, letting them gobble up tens of thousands of insects each day. The giant anteaters 4-inch...
And look at those claws. These are actually what I'm going to be looking at. I might do this for SVP this year, or I might choose a different project actually. But yeah, holy cow. The claws of anteaters are really, really cool. Really neat. Yeah. And Andusha says, it is really sad. Even biologists nowadays often have much less knowledge at the organismic level. Different species than one would think. You're right, Andusha. I've encountered this myself.
Wow, it's not the dinosaur we knew. Just look at that thing. It's not going to be friendly to us.
Give it a chance, Nodasfu.
Hope you are doing great. I'm happy to be back to learn one more time from you.
Welcome, Nodasfu. It is great to have you here, and thank you so much for the 5 months of support. Seriously, that's the reason I can continue to do this 5 days a week, is because of supporters like you. So thank you, Nodasfu. Great to have you here. Yeah. Let's continue with our anteater love here.
Claws and muscular tongue can flick up...
Insect porridge. It's been a long time since I've seen that at the store. It might be more common overseas. You know, it might be more of a British thing. Yeah. And plus, just because I'm a biologist doesn't mean I know anything about zoology, says Necromancy. This is true. Yeah, shoot. Even though I'm a paleontologist, I don't know diddly squat about cellular mitosis or, I don't know about, like, yeah, shoot. That is definitely a thing where nowadays so many of us in the sciences are so siloed into particular disciplines. We might not know much about, what a colleague works on, I don't know the first thing about cellular metabolism, or, I don't know, about genetics, epigenetics, things that are outside of my specialty, which is dinosaur paleontology. I'm generally not very knowledgeable about, There's actually an interesting analogy about this, and I wish I could find the clip. I don't remember who it was. It might have been Neil deGrasse Tyson, Daniel Dennett. I don't remember who it was, but they had a really neat analogy about this. When you're talking about science and you're talking about gaining new knowledge, like, we as scientists are trying to learn new things and kind of expand the perimeters of scientific knowledge. And think about it like that, like a circle that is expanding. When you're young, you're just trying to learn things. You're trying to learn what other people have done. You're trying to bring yourself up to speed in a particular field. And, you might go to school and take different courses about different kinds of science to kind of just have, like, basic scientific knowledge there. That's kind of the core. And then you learn more and more, and you start to expand outward. And then you start to specialize, And so there's, like, a circle that's forming here. Circle's expanding. But then you specialize. So say you specialize in dinosaur ontogeny. In the, say you're specializing in, the growth and development of dinosaurs within their lifespan, like this.
Ontogeny.
There you go. Yeah. Say that's your specialty. So that means that you're kind of pushing out from this circle. Suddenly there's a little spike that goes out like that. And you're kind of using that to, like, push out the perimeter of the extent of human knowledge. You go to graduate school, you do your PhD, you're conducting research, you're publishing papers, and you're, like, using that little spike like that to, like, push out the perimeter of human knowledge right there. But as you're doing that, you don't know what other people are doing over here. They're sending out their own spikes in this direction. You can read about that stuff, but, like, you're not on that frontier. You're over here doing your thing. And nowadays, in the 21st century, many sciences have become so specialized that, shoot, I could tell you all about, well, for instance, I don't know, functional morphology of spinosaurids. and behavioral implications from that. That's what I'm working on right now for publication. I don't know a whole lot about, say, sauropod dinosaurs. That's still within dinosaur paleontology, but that's outside my little tendril of expertise that I'm, like, pushing outwards like this. You know? So I guess maybe I shouldn't fault people for, I don't know. I'm not trying to fault other scientists for not knowing things in particular about dinosaur paleontology, certainly. I'd like to think... I want to live in a world where more people are familiar with anteaters, so they look at this and they go, oh yeah, that's an anteater. Why all these confused replies and everything? Anyway. Yeah, let me catch up to chat here. Yeah. And, anyway. And, Anadusha says, well, true, but as a biologist, you should have a basic understanding of organisms on the level of an organism. Yeah, of, like, the whole critter? I agree, Anandusha. That is a thing, actually. I'm going to be designing a poster for presentation at SVP. Or not SVP, sorry, for MTE, the Mesozoic Terrestrial Ecosystems Conference, in June in Salt Lake City. I'm going to be presenting some research there, and I need to design a poster. And I think part of that I'm going to do online. I'm going to do live here on Twitch, designing a research poster. Yeah. So a poster, there's a wonderful example of a poster right there. At scientific conferences, there's usually two modes of presentation at a scientific conference. You can give a talk where you discuss your research live and you've got slides. You basically make a PowerPoint presentation. Or my preferred method, it's often considered to be like less prestigious, but I don't know. I think a good poster can be more influential than a good talk. Yeah, you present a poster. This is an okay poster right here. It's a little boxy. I don't know. I've got very strong opinions on poster design, and I'm eager to share those with you at some point, as I'm putting mine together, maybe. But this one does have a lot of images here, which is really nice. They're eye-catching. The reason I bring posters up in the first place, while we're discussing this topic, is because I have seen a lot of posters from biologists in particular, where they will have, say they're doing molecular biology, and they've got this wonderful poster where they're looking at, I don't know, zebra danios, or African clawed frogs, or fruit flies, or something like that. And the title will be like oh, the extended genotype of danio, blah, 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 no, no, no. Implications and observations, blah, blah, blah. And then it's just walls of text and then some graphs. And it's like, you're a biologist. You're studying living animals. The very least that you can do is to put a picture of your critter on the poster. It's such a missed opportunity to not do that. Because when you don't put an image of your critter on the poster, people don't know what you're talking about if they're, like, outside of your particular specific field. And nobody's eye is going to be caught by a bunch of graphs either, you know? You want to draw people in, so they stop and they look at your poster and they talk to you, and then you can talk to them about your research, and you make a connection, and yeah. I've noticed that a lot of people who work in, like, molecular biology or other fields like that, where they're dealing with, like, really specific aspects of a particular organism, they never think to put the organism on their poster. Like, just slap a picture on there of your critter, you know? Please, please, please. For the love of all that is good and wonderful, just do that, please, you know? So, yeah. Anywho. It's important to not lose sight of what the thing is that you're studying, you know? Yeah. Yeah. And Solemnus says, talks are fleeting, visuals stay longer on the mind. Yes. And you can also use QR codes on your poster, which I do all the time. Oh, there's so many tips and tricks I want to discuss here about poster design. But yeah. And, well, yes, says Dr. Javasaurus. I mean, yeah. And yes, absolutely Haraz. A poster is not a paper. It is supposed to attract attention. Because you want to be able to talk to other researchers about your work. You're in a crowded hall. And there are hundreds, if not thousands, of posters in there. I mean, look. It might look like this. Or like this. This is what it looks like, oftentimes. At a big scientific conference. And no matter how impressive your research is, no matter how important it is, no matter how much it can change your field, people aren't going to stop at it if it looks boring. Like, this is a skill that I think a lot of scientists aren't really taught. How to make a poster that is eye-catching. And it's something I've put a lot of thought into. And I'm excited to talk about that as I'm preparing my poster for this conference during the summer this next year. And, yeah. And then I might do it again for SVP afterward. Unless I get a talk for SVP. We'll see. Anyway. And very funny, MacGyver. No, every scientific paper should have at least some figures, you know. Well, doesn't have to, but it's a good idea to do that. Yeah. It is like making a thumbnail in a YouTube video, Dr. Terra, sure. Yeah. It attracts attention. However, there are probably some different considerations when you're making a YouTube thumbnail and making a science conference poster. But yeah. Anyway. With or without 3D printed poster hangers, says Bambi S? With, and also, I'm going to be printing my posters on fabric this year. So I don't have to carry around a poster tube all summer in the field and everything. So I'm going to have cloth posters, and I might even have some 3D printed visual aids to show people as well as they stop by. Yeah, and I am going to SVP this year, Timber. I mean, I haven't submitted an abstract yet, because abstract submissions are not open yet, but I plan on it, Timber, yeah. Yeah. And you'll be there? Very cool, Timber. Very nice. Yeah. And, Oliver says, I mean, if I'm an anteater scientist, I'm very likely to stop and look at a post with a picture of an anteater on it. I would agree, Oliver, unless you are this guy. Oh, no.
You've tuned in.
And holy cow, General Stay.
Only that they vanished. Now we know the dinosaurs ruled the land longer than any creature before them or since.
Thank you, General Stay, for the raid. How are you doing? Welcome back to Paleontologizing.
Want to know more than that.
It's great to have you here. How was your stream, General Stay? I hope it was wonderful. Tell me all about it. What'd you get up to? Welcome new folks, especially you. Akio Wolf, Mad Miracle, MK Mephistopheles, welcome back. General Stay. So good, man, we talked archaeological practice and built a zoo. You built a zoo, General Stay. Very neat. I hope, I was gonna say, I hope none of the animals escaped. I hoped only the animals escaped who really wanted freedom. And didn't harm anybody in the process. Anyway, welcome. My name is Danny Anduza. I'm a dinosaur paleontologist. Just introducing myself to any new folks here. And, we're here to talk fossils. We've got a brief detour, though, talking about... Oh, shoot. We're talking about scientific conferences. We're talking about poster design for scientific conferences, that kind of thing. And,
extraordinary group of animals.
Hunter of the Ancients, thank you for the follow. Welcome, welcome. Great to have you here. So yeah. Yeah. And Wolf, thank you for the follow. Great to have you here. Wolf says, quick, favorite non-dinosaur from the Mesozoic era? Oh, shoot.
The world's first armored tank, you might say.
Elasmosaurus, we'll say. Wolf. Yeah, favorite non-dinosaurian Mesozoic critter. Elasmosaurs are pretty cool. I love them a lot. They're really neat. And someday I'd like to dig one up. Hopefully right here in California. We have them here. I'm just waiting on a call from some of my friends down south in Southern California. And dinosaurs, sign me up. Welcome, Hunter of the Ancients. Welcome. As a dinosaur paleontologist, I dig up dinosaurs. I study them. I publish on them in scientific journals. I present on them at scientific conferences. We were just talking about that a minute ago. Yeah, we were talking about poster design for conferences like this. I'm going to be designing some posters live on stream, it seems, for some upcoming conferences. And, yeah. And we have been talking about Anteaters and Andusha, yes. And say the in Accio like you'd say apple. Oh, Accio? Okay, Accio Wolf. Okay, cool. Great to have you here. Yeah. Good stuff. Good stuff. Thank you, Accio Wolf. I appreciate pointers on how to pronounce people's names, because if I'm pronouncing anybody's name incorrectly, I'd like to know how to pronounce your name correctly, so don't be shy about correcting me if your name is pronounced a different way. That goes for everybody. Man, now we're going to have regulars who I've seen for years here who are going to make jokes about how to pronounce their names incorrectly. Yeah. And Eli Lassetti, is your brother Giorgio a Tsoukalos? From Ancient Aliens. Same clothes? Oh, no. Eli Lassetti. No. My brother, I have one brother, and he is far more honest than that guy. Oh, goodness. Ugh. Oh. Oh, boy. Now, Liopluridon or Plesiosaurus, and why? Accio Wolf, Plesiosaurus, because we know it from more fossils than Liopluridon. Liopluridon is still known from pretty fragmentary remains. We can't do as many cool scientific studies on it. I feel like Plesiosaurus is better represented in the fossil record. So, yeah. And Triceratops 7'9". See what I said about long-time chatters? We're gonna be, yeah, trolly about this. Triceratops 7'9" says, my name is pronounced Tradoon 7'9". That's a good one, Triceratops. And, oh! And we will save that for Thursday Birds Day. Thank you, Dr. Tara. Sushkin's Goose. Tomorrow for Thursday Birds Day, not only will we be doing Thursday Birds Day, so submit your bird picture now or before the stream tomorrow, or during the stream tomorrow, just before we do Thursday Birds Day. We'll also be discussing the dodo. Some of you may have heard this news about a new company, like a biology startup called Colossal, and they're proposing resurrecting critters like the woolly mammoth, Tasmanian tiger, aka thylacine, and now the dodo. They just announced this the other day. We'll be talking about that tomorrow. We'll be talking about, is it a good idea? Yes, I think it is. Is it possible? Ooh, oh boy, that's a different question. I don't know. And what are some difficulties that they might encounter along the way? We'll also be talking about the dodo itself. What it was like, and how Dutch sailors drove it into extinction. Anyway, yeah. we'll be talking about that tomorrow, so tune in then. You do not want to miss that. It's going to be a lot of fun. And I got to do some background reading before that, so I make sure that I am up to snuff and up to date on my my dodo knowledge. But yeah, and yet Lilith Hobo, you could redeem a pterosaur for a dinosaur deep dive. I'll allow it. Yeah. Though Meg, who's Meg? Akio Wolf, friend of yours? Sounds like she always triumphs. Yeah. And Akio Wolf, we'll talk about that, but dodos would still be around today if they hadn't been senselessly murdered by Dutch sailors. I don't know. My opinion, spoiler alert, but my opinion on the whole dodo thing is we are responsible for killing them. It's our responsibility to bring them back. Because they would still be here if it weren't for, like, you know, a concerted effort to wipe them out. You know? So, yeah. Yeah. Anyway, yeah. But yeah, the dinosaur, Megalodon. Oh, and mammoths and stuff may be different. I mean, it may well also be that mammoths were hunted to extinction. Akio Wolf. We'll talk about that too. But yeah, yeah. And Megalodon is not a dinosaur. Otodus Megalodon is a shark. Not a dinosaur. Yeah, Otodus Megalodon. We don't actually know how big it was. I did a video about this a long time ago. About Megalodon. And how we don't actually quite know how big it was. Let me find that for you. And Skizzy99, thank you for the follow. Welcome to Paleontologizing. Yeah. There we go. My YouTube page. I've been putting up VODs here for a while. There we go. But let's go back and find... Yeah, how big was Megalodon? I'll just give you a link to this, and you can watch it at your leisure if you would like. But there you go. Yeah. Anyway, Megalodon, really, really cool critter. We still don't know enough about it. This really cool ancient shark. Died out about 2 million years ago. Really neat animal. We still don't have a firm understanding of how big it was. So yeah. Yeah. Anyway. And it was not a sardine with huge teeth. We know a sardine is a different kind of a... Very different, Lenina. A sardine is more closely related to us than it is to a shark like Otodus Megalodon. But yeah. Yeah. And I agree, Akio Wolf. We could either be underestimating or overestimating its size. And either idea is really interesting, to be honest, yeah. Yeah. So yeah. Yeah. And Blinkster says, did dinosaurs migrate? Well, they do today. Certainly birds migrate. But dinosaurs in Earth's past probably did migrate also. Yeah. We do have some evidence for this. Let's talk about it a little bit. Let's see. I think that's... Where is that scene? I want to say it's here. Take a look. Yeah, this is from When Dinosaurs Roamed America, back in 2001. The biggest critters to ever walk the earth. these guys would have migrated, probably. Yeah. Yep. And so this is paleontologist Jim Kirkland, the state paleontologist of Utah. I interviewed him last summer live on stream because I was out digging with him for 2 or 3 weeks out in eastern Utah, and I'll be doing so again this next summer. I'm very excited about that. But, yeah. Yeah. We're working on some projects together, actually. Well, one project right now. I've got ideas for more. But, yeah. 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 Shoot. Which is nuts. Yeah. This is why I bring this clip up in the first place. Stay tuned right here, because talking about dinosaur migration, there we go. Yeah. Yep. Yep. So these critters were migrating, it seems. This is from back in 2001. Yeah, so there's Jim right there. I'll show you a picture of Jim from, here. When we were digging together this summer. Yeah, there's my crew this past summer. And there's Jim right there. Yeah. Yep. Fisher and me and Nick and Jim and Ethan and Bilal. Out there in eastern Utah. Dr. Eva Lozzi. Yeah. Welcome.
Is a very important evolutionary force.
It is indeed. Dr. Eva Lozzi, thank you so much for the 18 months of support. Holy cow. Dr. Eva Lozzi, I appreciate you more than you know.
Try blaming the dinosaurs.
And thank you, Naderfiend.
Modern animated reconstructions of dinosaurs.
Yeah?
How much of what we see is pure fantasy? How much is reasonable speculation?
Ah.
And how much is hard paleontological fact?
That's a beautiful question, Naderfiend. I'll get to that in just a second, because, man, that question contains volumes. But first, I want to say, if anybody here has not yet checked out Dr. Eva Lozzi's channel, you are missing out. I know we try to rate him as often as we can here, but yeah. He's a PhD evolutionary biologist, just got his PhD a little while ago. And, like me, he's doing science outreach right here on Twitch. Yeah, and Dr. Eva Lozzi, if you don't mind my asking.
Appreciation and gratitude.
Thank you, give them now.
For dinosaurs while I recover at home.
Oh, are you recovering? Give them now. I hope you have a swift recovery, and let me know if I can do anything for you. Thank you for the 100 bits. Appreciate that. Anyway, Dr. Eva Lozzi, what country are you from originally? And I want to say that you've... Is it Brazil? Do you work in the U.S. now? I forget. let me know. We've got people from all over the world here in chat, and I'm sure they'd love to know where you call home. From Turkey. Very cool. Yeah. And, thank you, Sot Quo, for the follow. Thanks for clicking that follow button. Welcome to Paleontologizing. Good stuff. Yeah. Anyway. Yeah. And Soggy Cat. We did come here to find fossils. I hope that's what you're expecting, Soggy Cat, because fossils you shall have. Anyway, we do think that a lot of dinosaurs would have migrated. We've gone way far afield here. Yeah. And you're from Philly. Go birds. Yes, in birds, as we all know, Dr. Evilazzi, birds. Birds are dinosaurs. Why the enthusiasm? I know everybody should be enthusiastic about birds. But what do birds have to do with Philadelphia? I'm not sure I understand that. There. There's our Thursday Birds Day command again. Oh, doctor said mild concussion. I'm sorry. A head injury. Give them Nell. And I remember that you're the chatter formerly known as Maskling. Give them Nell. I appreciate you bringing that up again, though. Appreciate the reminder. But yeah, shoot, I hope you're drinking plenty of fluids. I hope you're reading plenty about fossils. Give them Nell. Those are the two ways that I know to recover from a concussion. Yeah, I don't know. My girlfriend in college suffered from a couple of concussions. She was always hitting her head on stuff. And I would always set her up with a bunch of water and some good books. And that's about all I know to do. Yeah. And, yeah. And Iconic Song says, I put birds or dinosaurs on my Hinge dating profile. There you go, Iconic Song. I know you might be saying this kind of tongue-in-cheek, but it's not a bad strategy. You're more likely to get some science-minded people responding to your profile. I don't know. Always worked well for me, talking about dinosaurs, you know? Yeah. But yeah. Yeah. Nader Fiend says, eagles are in the superb owl. Are you sure, Nader Fiend? Huh. I don't know. Eagles and owls, I know they do share a common ancestor, probably back in like the Paleocene or maybe the earliest Eocene. But they've been separate for a long time, eagles and owls, regardless of how superb the owls might be. And I can shorten it to Nell. All right, Nell, you got it. Yeah. Anandusha says, I recently watched a YouTube video where someone was speculating whether early birds might have repeatedly lost flight again, so that some terrestrial dinosaurs repeatedly evolved out of birds. Any opinion on that? That is an idea, Anandusha. If you've got a link to that, I'd love to see it, actually. Because we talk about that a lot. But there is an idea that dromaeosaurs and other maniraptoran dinosaurs, yeah, that these critters, like, for instance, Microraptor, Ostroraptor, Velociraptor, Dromaeosaurus, Utahraptor, and their kin may actually have evolved from bird ancestors. These guys are so close to birds that we can't be 100% sure that they didn't actually evolve from birds. We know that birds evolved, they split off from the dinosaur family tree very close to these guys, but was it on the same branch that these guys later sprung off from? Or is it from an earlier branch? We don't know for sure. So yeah, there is a chance that dinosaurs like Velociraptor might not just be very bird-like dinosaurs, you know, complete with feathers and everything else. They might actually legitimately be birds. That part of the dinosaur family tree is kind of hazy. We don't have good material from, like, the mid-Jurassic for the origin of Maniraptoran dinosaurs. So, yeah. Yeah. Anyway. Yeah. And Lenina, troll the chat. I would never do any such thing, Lenina. My goodness. What are you accusing me of? And Raptor, it's you. It is. Well, Dromaeosaurs, at least. Yeah. I don't know. Every time I hear the word raptor, I immediately think of hawks and eagles, vultures and owls, and to a certain extent, falcons, too. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. The word raptor, to me, as a dinosaur paleontologist, means what we often refer to as birds of prey. When I think raptor, I don't think of Dromaeosaurs. I realize Jurassic Park and I guess Jurassic World have kind of programmed people when they think raptor, they think of these animals. Dromaeosaurs, but I don't know. We call them Dromaeosaurs as paleontologists. So yeah. Yeah. Anyway. Yeah. And Scout has got a question about Spinosaurus. Do I think the sail vertebrae spine thing could have been... Ooh, Scout. Scout. Scout, let's see here. How do I, How do I put this in such a way where... Scout, I can neither confirm nor deny any hypotheses about the sail function of spinosaurid dinosaurs until some work is published or otherwise put forth to the public in a controlled manner. Do I make myself clear? That's not actually something that I'm working on actively, but I have a colleague who is working on that, and I think very soon he will be making some of that work public, so stay tuned. But, how about now? I would say thank you for the $20, Nell. Shoot. I can buy groceries for a week with that much money. Yeah. Anyway. Yeah. And, no, yeah. Therizinosaurs are from that same branch, Dinostrand. Just like these guys, Therizinosaurs are also Maniraptorans. So, yeah, let's think about Maniraptoran phylogeny right here. There we go. And let's annotate this bad boy. Get up my draw pad and my stylus. Whoa, why is that way over there? Hang on a minute. Let's scooch this back to where it should be. And give me just a second. I gotta check on something else, too. Hang on. Okay, we're good. What you have here is what we call a phylogeny. Phylogeny. This is an evolutionary family tree. And as such, it shows the evolutionary relationships of some of these critters as we currently understand them due to the fossil evidence. So you've got tyrannosaurs down here, compsognathids, ornithomimids, all those critters doing their thing in their own spots. But here, we have Maniraptora. So everything from here on up, so everything from this node onwards, so all of these critters are what we call Maniraptorans. And let me make that diameter smaller. There we go. Maniraptorans. And so these are the dinosaurs that birds evolved from. You see birds are right there. We have dromaeosaurids, like our Velociraptor, Deinonychus, Utahraptor, Austroraptor, etc. Troodontids, like everybody's favorite theropod in this chat, Troodon. And also... And the Satan quadruple 6, when 3 6s aren't enough. Thank you for the follow, these_Satan. Welcome to Paleontologizing. Yeah. We've got the Scansoriaptorids, Oviraptorosaurs, Alverasaurs, like Cotylyrhynchus, and our Therizinosaurs, too, are all Maniraptorans. So all of these guys are pretty close to birds right there. And so, as I was saying earlier, as somebody in chat brought up, there is an idea that these guys, the Dromaeosaurs and Troodontids, they might actually be birds. And it all depends on how these 3 nodes actually shake out. Like, which of them evolved first. Because they all seem to be closest relatives to each other. These are peas in a pod right here, these 3. Very close relatives. So could it be that aves actually evolved first? Say that goes down to here. And then these guys evolve from aves. That could be the case. It could be that the Troodontids and the Dromaeosaurs actually evolved from birds right there. We still don't know. There are some paleontologists who suspect that that might be the case. But, we really don't know yet. You know? Yeah. We're still figuring that stuff out. Honestly, we're missing fossils from a particular span of time, I guess. If we got some really decent, like, middle Jurassic fossils of Maniraptoran ancestors and birds that are earlier than, say, Archaeopteryx, then we could start to figure this out. There was an idea for a while that critters like Anchiornis were actually birds. Anchiornis. There we go. This is a little troodontid dinosaur, it seems. Look at those feathery pants right there. Wonderful illustration by Gabriele Guetto. Is this a true bird, or is it just a very bird-like dinosaur? Therein lies the question, you know? I mean, isn't that the $66 million question?
Prerequisite to the evolution of large mammals and to our own existence, for that matter.
The Hero for Hire, thank you for that follow. Welcome to Paleontologizing. Great to have you here. So yeah. Anyway, that thing got some fashion style. I know, right, Jenna Strand? Yeah. And would dinosaurs like pineapple pizza the way birds like pineapple pizza? I bet probably yes, Trappy Jenkins. I bet you this dinosaur would. Anchiornis. Other dinosaurs, it's kind of hard to imagine a stegosaur eating a pineapple pizza. Well, I don't know. If they learned that it was food to eat, they'd probably eat it, you know? I don't know. I don't know. That's a tough question, Trappy. Yeah. Anyway. Yeah. And pineapple was not around back then, though. Nor was pizza. You know. Yeah. Tomatoes were not around back then either, you know? Shoot, tomatoes are recent enough that, you know, everybody associates the country of Italy with tomato sauce, tomato paste, pizza, and pasta, and, you know. Tomatoes aren't from Italy. Tomatoes are from the New World. They're an American food. Tomatoes are from, I think, North America. They had to be imported to Italy after the discovery of the New World. So yeah, they're Peruvian. Like potatoes, they're Peruvian, Lothobo? Really? Huh. And, but Nell says they're Mexican. Yeah. They are from the Americas. That's true, Awkward Cyborg. Yes, indeed. So yeah, yeah. And grains weren't around back then either. So just about every aspect of a pizza. You know? The grain, you know, the flour, the dough, the tomato sauce, the cheese. Dairy wasn't, well, maybe you could make cheese from mammal milk, because mammals did live alongside the dinosaurs for the entire Mesozoic era, basically. And they did feed their young with milk back then. That's like a basic mammal thing. Like the earliest mammals did that, it seems. So yeah. And tomatoes, potatoes, chocolate, corn, yeah. Chilies and peppers and all kinds of things are New World foods, Kennedy. It's like the majority of people's calories around the world, except for maybe rice and bread, are from the New World. It's kind of nuts. Yeah. But anyway, and no pizza for the poor dinosaurs, says Curtis Pekka. I mean, they got along just fine for 170 million years without pizza. So yeah, yeah. And syphilis is New World too. All kinds of delicious stuff there, Naderfiend. Yes, indeed. But yeah, by the way, let me go back to your question there, Naderfiend, because Naderfiend had a really good question. And they cheered 100 bits for it. That was 18 minutes ago. I appreciate your patience, Naderfiend. Naderfiend says, when we watch modern animated reconstructions of dinosaurs, how much of what we see is pure fantasy? How much of it is reasonable speculation? And how much is hard paleontological fact? That's an excellent question. And it depends what kind of media you're looking at. So if, for instance, you're looking at, what was it called? I'm trying to look up the trailer for the second Jurassic World movie. What was it? Jurassic World Endgame? Jurassic World Apocalypse? Jurassic World 2. Okay. Jurassic World 2 trailer. There you go. Good. Anyway, yeah. This, fanciful. You know, fanciful. These animals did not look like this. Oh boy. Yeah. They did not look like this. This is completely wrong. So this is fantasy. You know, it's like, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Completely wrong. Dromaeosaurid dinosaurs like this had feathers all over their bodies, you know? They looked much more like this, you know? They were feathery critters. Very different from what you see right there. There you go. That's a nice one. So this is fantasy. But if we're looking at other things, like, for instance, I don't know, prehistoric planet? Their Velociraptor is really, really good. This is actually based on real fossil science. This is the closest approximation that we have to what Velociraptor would have actually looked like. You know? And there are certainly things that are going to be incorrect about this. As we continue to study these animals further, as we find more fossils, as we continue to learn more about these amazing creatures, we'll realize again and again, like, oh yeah, we were wrong about this detail here, this is wrong. Maybe they would have been more brightly colored, you know, that kind of thing. That's really one of my major If I have any gripes at all with Prehistoric Planet, it's that their dinosaurs all kind of look a little muddy looking. They're a little drab. Even the brightly colored ones are a little... I don't know. They all just look kind of, like, fuzzy, you know? You don't have striking color patterns like you have in a lot of modern birds. And modern reptiles, for that matter. So, yeah. Yeah. So there's an excellent little video about this. Did Velociraptor have feathers? And the answer is yes. Here's a link. I will link this video to you in the chat, but we won't watch it now. We've watched it so many times on this channel so far. But there you go. Yeah. Little Pangea's Pizza. How may we serve you to the Saurian overlords today? Here you go, Eagle Star Trucker, yes. Yeah. Oh. Anyway, yeah. Fallen... Oh, that's what it was. Fallen Kingdom. Thank you, Soggy Cat. Yeah. I didn't actually watch that movie. I watched, like, the first 5 minutes of it. I had to turn it off. It was that bad. Anyway, so I still haven't seen the whole thing. Maybe one of these days... I don't know. Just spitballing here. Wild idea. But maybe one of these days we'll do a Discord watch night or something like that. And I'll make sure I've got some stiff drinks handy if I'm going to be watching that. Oh, boy. But anyway. And they could have used some more color. I agree. Michael Mikeru17. Welcome to Paleontologizing, by the way. I do think that the Prehistoric Planet's dinosaurs could have used some more color. I do kind of wonder whether this is the sensibilities of their primary paleontological consultant, Darren Naish. Because Darren Naish, when you look at his artwork, like, I don't know, here he is right here. There's Darren Naish. He tends to kind of eschew striking color patterns and stuff like that in his art. I wonder if that had enough of an influence for them to do the same thing for Prehistoric Planet. But anyway, yeah. And you like the Velociraptors in gray. It does make sense. They're very well camouflaged against the rocks in these scenes. Like, if they weren't moving around, you know, they could easily just blend into the background. So it does make a lot of sense in that regard. Like, for the scene, as a piece of filmmaking, oh boy, does it make sense. Yeah. So yeah. Yeah. Anyway. And who is that? Tommy Ploticus, thank you for the gift sub there. Really appreciate that. Look, we're now at 3 out of 40 gift subs for the day. That's a start. Well, we'll see how high that gets. Yeah. And, Hello Tangent says, how to be a dinosaur. Hello Tangent, you would like to know how to be a dinosaur? I'm afraid you've already missed the boat on that. Dinosaurs and us, human beings, mammals, have a lot of time separating us. Let's take a look at this tree of life here. Let's find non-avian dinosaurs. Let's look at, for instance, Tyrannosaurus right there. This thing is squirrely. There we go. I can get it to move that way. Theropod dinosaurs and humans. We are 68 millionth cousins. 83 million times removed. Our last common ancestor was way back here. About 340 million years ago. Something like that. So yeah, we really missed the boat on being dinosaurs. But we are related to them, just like all living things on Earth are. It's just, yeah, I don't know. We're nowhere close. Oh yeah. And what tool is that? Somebody bring up the tree command there. Yeah. And Sheridanicus, yes, absolutely. Dinosaurs could see in color because modern birds can. We now think that dinosaurs probably would have been pretty brightly colored. And actually, let me introduce you to another resource here. Another... something that seems much more complicated than it is. The extant phylogenetic bracket. Or this. This is the EPB. The extant phylogenetic bracket. And let's scoot that there. There we go. Let's annotate this. Here. EPB. Extant. That means living today. Whoop. Phylogenetic bracket. EPB. Or as my old crew chief Denver Fowler used to say, oh, EPB, it's just crocs and emus. Crocs and emus. Because we look at modern birds and we look at crocodilians. If there's something that, like, you know, we don't understand about dinosaurs, like, for instance, what kind of eyes did they have? Eyes are squishy, jelly-like things. They don't fossilize well. At least not in tetrapods. Tetrapod eyes do not fossilize. So what were dinosaur eyes like? That's unknown right here. Well, we look at their closest living relatives. We look at crocodiles, who are like cousins to the dinosaurs. And we look at birds, who themselves are legitimate dinosaurs. They're straight-up dinosaurs, birds are. They evolved from dinosaur ancestors. And we know that birds have color vision, and we know that crocodiles have color vision, so we have no reason to think that dinosaurs did not have color vision. They would have had color vision, just like birds, and just like crocodiles. And just like birds and crocodiles, dinosaurs could actually see more colors than we can as mammals. They can see into the ultraviolet spectrum a little bit. That's why, like, every time you look at, say, a, say a crow, for instance. Sometimes if the light catches a crow just right, you start to see, like, just the hints of other colors in its feathers. You can see some iridescence there. That is your puny human eyes just barely being able to decipher the very, very fringes of a broad ultraviolet spectrum there. When crows look at each other, they don't just look like they're all black. They can actually see other colors in there that we can barely even imagine. We can't really even imagine them. We have no way of processing this. Our brains don't work that way because our eyes can't see those colors. You're just seeing the very dim fringes of that here. But to another bird, a crow would be much more brightly colored than we perceive it to be. Because they can see partway into the ultraviolet spectrum. Does that make sense? Yeah. Neat stuff. Neat stuff. Did dinosaurs use VHS or Betamax? Neither. Hello, Tangent. They... Yeah. Millions of years before either of those things. Before the videotape wars. Yes. And, oh, and cool, Anandush, you just posted a meme to the Discord? Very nice. Yeah. And thank you, Sheridanicus, for that gift sub. I really appreciate that. Does that answer your question there, Sheridanicus? Dinosaurs had color vision. They had color vision better than our own. So yeah. Yeah. Anywho. And Ryua, how are you doing? I don't recognize that name. Welcome to the channel. Ryua says, with color vision, I would think that led to some dinosaurs being multicolored just to blend into the background for protection. That, and also, I mean, shoot. We look at modern birds, and they run the gamut. All kinds of different colors. From soft, kind of whitish pink, all the way to deepest indigo and violet and purple and black. Everything in between. Dinosaurs in the Mesozoic era, like their bird descendants today, probably would have been the same way. Lots and lots and lots of different colors. Dinosaurs probably would have been pretty colorful animals, all things considered. And we're not used to that. We, today, as humans, are used to looking at big animals and going, oh yeah, they're gray. They're kind of battleship gray. Like elephants, or rhinos, or Cape buffalo, or hippos. You know, they're brown, or they're grayish brown, or they're brownish gray, or they're kind of, you know, a blackish gray, or a grayish black, or, you know. When you look at, you know, modern big mammals like this, they're gray. Why is that? Well, part of it is because that's how they see the world. They can't perceive color. Most mammals are pretty much colorblind like that. There are not a whole lot of brightly colored mammals of any stripes. Primates tend to be the most brightly colored mammals. And even they are mostly brown and stuff. You know, sometimes they've got white and black stripes and that sort of thing. Primates have re-evolved color vision in many cases. Like we, as primates, we can see in color. We can see most colors anyway. Oh, cheer up, orangutan. It'll be okay. You can see in color. That may have been an adaptation to be able to perceive the ripeness of fruit and stuff like that. But yeah, the most brightly colored mammals are, probably mandrills. Yeah, they can be pretty brightly colored. And they are mammals. Or they are primates, excuse me. They've re-evolved color vision. They come from the same ancestors as us. So, yeah. Most mammals are not like that. That's why mammals are pretty drab for the most part, because they don't have color vision. So, yeah. Yeah. Anyway, gotta find where the best fruit is. There you go, Cobraven. Yeah, yes, indeed. Yeah. And give them out. Good point. Yeah.
Certainly, there are many more dinosaurs waiting to be discovered.
It's true.
Many new mysteries waiting to be pondered.
Thank you for your follow there, Ryuya. Appreciate that. And Ryuya says, I know some plants have patterns that only show in ultraviolet. This is true. Wonder about similar patterns on dinosaurs. Yeah. Yeah. And thank you, Dawson, for the follow. Welcome to Paleontologizing. Good to have you here. Thanks for dropping in. And Dawson has a really good question. Something that I've thought about myself before. Would predatory dinosaurs be brightly colored, though? Wouldn't they be colored to help them avoid being seen by prey, like most predatory animals today? Ooh, that depends. Some of this might be seasonal. I've got a dinosaur skull here in my office. That of Dilophosaurus. That you see right here. Dilophosaurus has these crazy crests on its head. And forget what you saw in Jurassic Park and Jurassic World. It did not look like this. It didn't have the neck frill thing. I like this image because here's a Yeah, anyway. Here's the Dilophosaurus from the Jurassic Park and Jurassic World movies. Here's the real thing right here. Considerably larger, more formidable, far more interesting, honestly. Yeah. But even this is like way too drab. I would have made this much more colorful. This critter has got these two big ridiculous crests on its head. Much like that. And these seem to have evolved as display structures. If you'd like to learn more about Dilophosaurus, this is where I would recommend you start. This really, really cool video by Brian Eng, who does wonderful reconstructions of dinosaurs. This is all based on real science. Really, really good stuff. But if you want to bring yourself up to date on one of my favorite dinosaurs, Dilophosaurus, then check this out. But he compares them to modern birds with some of their really elaborate crests and display structures like that, which are oftentimes pneumatized. They're actually like hooked up to the animal's respiratory system. He thinks Dilophosaurus may have been the same way. And given that those crests probably would have been covered by a keratin sheath, like you see on a cassowary, or on a hornbill right there, keratin is a very, like, versatile kind of substance. And, it can actually, like, change with the seasons. So, like, certain birds, they'll have more brightly colored patterns during the mating season. So, maybe most of the year, they've got camouflage when they're stalking their prey and stuff like that, maybe? If we're talking about dinosaurs like Dilophosaurus, maybe? But maybe during the breeding season, that would be flush with color to help attract mates and repel rivals. Yeah. I don't know. We got to think about how these animals are actually, like, changing day to day as living creatures. Like, what are they doing? How are they growing and maturing? How are they changing through ontogeny and also changing through the seasons? Dinosaurs were incredibly dynamic creatures. You know, it is a far cry from, you know, your swamp-bound dinosaurs, you know, of long ago. This depiction of dinosaurs here is kind of like slow, lumbering, swamp-bound creatures. They were not like this in reality. They were fast, agile, brightly colored, highly social, intelligent, complex, extraordinarily interesting animals. All the fossil evidence points to that. And, yeah, I don't know. I feel really lucky to be able to work on these critters. They're super cool. Yeah, would male dinosaurs go into rut? Probably not the same way that mammals would. Give them now? I mean, think about birds. Dinosaurs are kind of funny. An electric flim-flam, thank you for the follow. Welcome to Paleontologizing. Good to have you here. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Anyway, so Dawson, I hope that answers your question. We do have all kinds of evidence of really weird, cool display structures on dinosaurs. Like right here, we've got Ceratosaurus, too, with that nose horn on its head. With all of these scrungy bits that would be excellent attachment points for keratin. Which is probably pretty brightly colored, at least when it wanted to be. Maybe part of the time these animals would be kind of drab to, you know, hide in the shadows as they're waiting to ambush prey. But I don't know. There are plenty of modern birds. Well, I suppose birds of prey tend to be fairly drab. Except for scavengers can be more brightly colored, like those vultures and condors there. But yeah, birds are, well, I don't know. They could be pretty striking. Bald eagles can be pretty striking. It depends on what they're going after, what they're catching. That kind of thing. But yeah, I don't know. I think if you're gonna go too far in one direction, I'd say go too far in the making dinosaurs colorful direction. You're more likely to be mostly correct there. Does that make sense? Dinosaurs had full color vision. We know they had many of them, many of them evolved really crazy display structures on their heads and on other parts of their bodies. These are pretty flamboyant, showy animals. So don't be afraid to show that. Yeah. And Raptor, I'm glad you like the eyewitness notifications. Those are good, right? Yeah, they're nice and brief. And Electric Flim Flam says, this is fascinating stuff. I love how much you love it. Twitch needs more content like this? Thank you, Electric. I appreciate that. This is my passion. I study dinosaurs. I dig them up. I publish on them in the scientific literature. And, you know, believe it or not, I make my living here on Twitch nowadays. It's a modest living, to be sure. But I make just enough to live on and be able to have a little bit of savings too, which is really, really nice. And I'm incredibly, incredibly grateful to the people who support me in that. So yeah, I do agree that we need more people doing science outreach here on Twitch and on other platforms online. There's so much nonsense in the world nowadays. And most scientists are not incentivized to actually talk to the public and, you know, put those ideas out there, you know? Yeah, let me show you a, yeah, this is from March of 2021. Survey, most Americans cannot name a living scientist or a research institution. Holy cow. Only 27% of Americans could name a living scientist. Oh boy. There was a time in American history where, like, some of the most famous people around were scientists. It's not the case today. In an age of mass media, and live streaming, and videos on demand, and everything else, scientists have lost prominence in popular culture, which is kind of insane. I mean, honestly, we, as scientists, we've got the most interesting jobs in the world. We are unlocking the mysteries of the universe. I get to dig up dinosaurs and study them, publish on them, and talk about them, and somehow, yeah, I don't know. People like me do not have prominence in modern media. We just don't. So yeah. And there you go, Claireberry, yes. But yeah. Anyway, from the people who could name a living scientist, 35% named Anthony Fauci, which I guess he's an epidemiologist, sure. 7% said Neil deGrasse Tyson. 5% said Bill Nye. I think Bill Nye, if we want to get real technical, he's like, I think he might be more of an engineer than a scientist. But, I'm not sure who Timothy Berners-Lee is. I'm a little embarrassed about that. Who is that? I don't know who this is. Michio Kaku, I think, is he a scientist or is he... I've heard him referred to as a futurist. Stephen Hawking, that asterisk there is because... Oh boy, he did. Stephen Hawking has died. I don't know who Elaine Aspect is. Jane Goodall, of course, worked with great apes, primatologist, and other for 42%. There was another one of these that we looked at from, I think, a couple years before. Same kind of study, but there was like a significant percent said, oh, me. Because they were a scientist answering the survey. I guess that's what I would do, you know? Yeah. But a strong majority do think it is very important for scientists to inform the public about their research and its impact on society. 59%. That's what I'm trying to do here, you know? Yeah. Anyway. Yeah. And Aspect won the 2022 Nobel for Physics. Interesting, Amargasaurus. I did not know that. Good for her. That's awesome. Very cool. Anyway, here's a link to this, if you'd like to take a look. There you go. Yeah. And I didn't know he was... So Michio Kaku actually published his paper in theoretical physics? Like, he does active research in that field? I was not aware of that. Cool. Anyway. Yeah, and he does. Very cool. Thank you, Jodyfish. Only to hide that science behind a paywall. Yeah, Bambi S, that's... Here, this gets us back to what we were talking about earlier here. Yeah, I was very much perturbed by this. And I guess part of it is like an optical illusion or something, but I don't know. There were so many people in the replies to this who were just... There were just all these crazy off-the-wall replies here about this anteater. Here's an anteater, you know, scratching up a log, snuffling about with its mouth and its nose.
Stegosaurus, 25 feet long, weighing 4 tons.
And Freya's Fury.
He won a lot of arguments in his time, but very few beauty contests.
Thank you, Freya's, for the 6 months of support.
Figured after 4 freebies I should subscribe, also ads suck.
Really appreciate your support, Freya. Thank you, thank you. How have you been doing, by the way? It's great to have you here. Thank you for your support. You're saying you got 4 free gift subs? And now you're subscribing yourself? Thank you, Freya. I really, really appreciate that. Welcome back. Appreciate you. Yeah. Yeah, I was tweeting about this earlier. Here, give me just a second. I'll be right back. Yeah. Why are they confused by anteaters? Well, Layer T says the black on white head looks like an eye and mouth/nose area, which might actually be intentional on the part of the anteater. But I don't know. I look at this critter and I go, cool, an anteater. I love these guys. They're really, really interesting. But there are all of these people in the replies who are just completely flabbergasted. Like, they don't know what's going on here. And... yeah. No, what is going on? Y'all have to be alien... Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, I agree with this person. This is not in Namibia. This person is completely wrong about that. Anteaters are from South America, not from Africa. But anyway, this person thinks it looks like some sort of a dragon thing. I don't know. Jazzberries. Welcome, welcome. Thank you for the follow. Yeah. Took me about 10 watches to figure out what the heck I was looking at. I mean, are people that unfamiliar with this remarkable animal? Anteaters are so cool. How are these guys not on TV every night? They are such incredible, incredible critters. They're really, really cool. And let's go ahead and continue this video on them because it's really, really awesome. And let's take a look at them on the Tree of Life real quick. Let's pull up the giant anteater. It's, what is it? My Myrmacophedra something? Giant anteater. Yeah, my Myrmacophedra. There you go. Still got it. Unfortunately, they are vulnerable to extinction right now. Not quite endangered, according to the IUCN. But man, yeah. And underexposed, too. We need more people studying these critters. Anteaters. We've got 3 living species. And, yeah. Anteaters again. 4 living species. And then we've got anteaters and sloths. Is Edentata still a... We've got Xenarthra there. I don't know if Edentata is still a valid group. Yeah. There we go. I don't think it is a valid group anymore. There's Xenarthra. The name means, like, strange wrist. Because they really do have strange wrists. These are sloths, anteaters, and armadillos are all related to each other. They are Xenarthrans. Xenarthra. They were previously classified alongside pangolins and aardvarks in the order Edentata, meaning toothless, because the members do not have any incisors and lack or have poorly developed molars. Subsequently, Edentata was found to be a polyphyletic grouping whose New World and Old World taxa are unrelated. Polyphyletic just actually means that it's not a true group. You know? It doesn't include the ancestor and all of its descendants, so it's not really a true group anymore. Does that make sense? Yeah. View3859 says this is because they're all in TikTok. I've got a thing about that, View. We'll maybe be talking about this a little bit as well, but I do think that also... Yeah, I don't know. The way that modern social media are constructed... People aren't learning things in the way that they should. People are being served up slop. You know? Ugh. So we'll talk about that. Yeah. And aardvarks and elephants were also in Xenarthra. No, not in Xenarthra. They're in Afrotheria. Give them now. Here, let me show you now. Let's go to Afrotheria. Elephants, elephant shrews, and more. I believe aardvarks are also part of that group. Yeah. Elephant shrews. There we go. Yeah. So, aardvarks, elephants, elephant shrews, etc. are all Xenarthrans here. Or, excuse me, they're not Xenarthrans. Scratch that. That's wrong. They're not Xenarthrans. They're Afrotheres. Afrotheres. That includes Sengis. Like those critters from my 65 parody trailer. Sengis. These critters. Yeah. Here we go. Sengis, also known as elephant shrews. They're more closely related to elephants than they are to shrews, which is pretty funny. Yeah. And Sengis are really cool critters. They really are. Yeah. Let's see. Is this a different one? Yeah. Anyway. But yeah. Yeah. Elephants and elephant shrews are both Afrotheres. Right there. There's your elephant shrews. There's a Sengi. Sengi is really the proper name for an elephant shrew. There's also the Rufus elephant shrew. Tenrex, golden moles, aardvarks, and elephants are all Afrotheres. Afrotheria. You see it? Yeah. And, so yeah, they're... I guess they do belong to the same clade as Anteaters. Atlantogenata. Yeah, there you go, Anteaters. So yeah, that's kind of funny. An anteater is more closely related to an elephant than an elephant is to, say, a hippo or a rhinoceros. Yeah. Cool stuff. Anyway. This has been confirmed through fossil evidence and through DNA evidence as well. That's the really cool thing about modern science, is that we've got different methods of testing these hypotheses. And some old hypotheses have fallen by the wayside, like that idea that pangolins were closely related to sloths and anteaters. Turns out they're not. We used to think they were because they were kind of morphologically similar. But more up-to-date fossil evidence and more up-to-date genomic evidence, looking at their DNA, has shown that that's not the case. So yeah. Yeah. An aardvark is Dutch for earth pig. That makes a lot of sense, given now. Yeah. Yeah, it's probably an Afrikaans word, isn't it? Aardvark. Aardvark, yeah. Anyway, yeah. Convergent evolution strikes again. There you go, Nell. Yeah. And thank you, Astronomy Show, for redeeming Amargasaurus. We'll take a look at that in a minute. But let's return to our anteater here, and let's take a look at this. Remarkable animals. Really, really cool. And I really wish that more people knew about them. You know? Yeah, I don't know. I would gladly watch, you know, a dozen television shows about anteaters before I ever watch something about Kardashians, but honestly, that's the thing, is that you're not going to see this stuff on TV. You'll see plenty of Kardashian garbage, but you won't see anteater stuff on TV, because anteater stuff, it's not going to sell things that advertisers are trying to hawk, you know? The more you learn about anteaters and their life out on the Argentine pampas, out there in the grasslands of Argentina, doing their thing, suffering from habitat loss and climate change, the less likely you are to spend money on Coca-Cola or, I don't know, buy a third air fryer or a Tesla car or whatever, you know? You're less likely to spend money on garbage like that if you're thinking about how it might affect the natural world. And it's just... it's really sad to me that, like, these critters, which are right now they are vulnerable to extinction. Since our world is run on a profit motive, rather than, like, what's actually good for us and our neighbors here on this planet, all these other critters that inhabit Earth along with us. Since the only real incentive is just make more money and make more money and then make more money until the Earth is just a dried out husk. What's gonna happen to the anteaters, you know? Anyway. Yeah. But yeah, yeah. And millions of other species too. Absolutely, Astronomy Show, yeah. Yeah. Anyway, Astronomy Show, let's talk about Amargasaurus, a critter that has already slipped into extinction mega anna ago, millions of years ago, but is nonetheless remembered today as a really cool critter. Amargasaurus. Another one of these really cool South American dinosaurs that's only known from one specimen. You may have seen this dinosaur around in various places before. Here it is in some kind of game. I guess this is in the Ark game. Oh boy, it looks kind of wild there. I like that it's brightly colored though. That's cool at least. you might be familiar with Amargasaurus, you might not be aware that this animal is known from just one specimen. We only have one skeleton of this critter, you know? But yeah, let's talk about that a little bit. I know we've done a dinosaur deep dive on this animal before, but let's talk about it again. Amargasaurus, what a cool animal. Let's see if maybe we can find a video of it first, just to whet our appetites. And then we'll see if we can look at the original publication for this animal. Yeah. Oh boy. Here it is for ARC, I guess. Amargasaurus. Huh. That's not the worst, except what's it got in its mouth? What? Oh boy. I'm sorry. Anyway. Goodness. Yeah. Amargasaurus. Let's talk about the actual dinosaur, shall we? Oh boy. Yeah. So Amargasaurus is from the Cretaceous period of Argentina. It's from the early Cretaceous. About 129 to about 122 million years ago. So it's that imprecisely dated. There's like a 7 million year error bar there. We don't know precisely when this dinosaur is from. Again, it's very, very popular in dinosaur media. Everybody loves Amargasaurus. And yet, there's so much we don't know about it. There's so many mysteries still remaining for this taxon. I want to emphasize that. Despite, this dinosaur being one of everybody's favorite to illustrate. Here's Lewis Ray's Amargasaurus here. And then here again. Ooh, being ganged up on by some Giganotosaurus. Who I think might be from later in the Cretaceous period, but I might be wrong about that.
We all know. If it hadn't been for that great dinosaur who saved us from the American forces, we would all be dead.
Is that true now? Holy cow. What a dire story.
That's almost a year. Less than 3.
Thank you, Give Them Nell. Nell, thank you so much. And a tier 2 sub there. That is extraordinary. Thank you for your support, Nell. It means a lot to me. It really does. Thank you. Yeah. It's for helping me do what I do here. But yeah, Amargasaurus. What a ridiculously cool animal. And there's somebody made a trading card with Louis V. Ray's art there. Yeah. Anyway, let's take a look at the original descriptive paper of this animal back in 1991. Cross your fingers that when I pull up this old hard drive, it doesn't crash the stream, doesn't crash OBS. Uh-oh, so far so bad. Desktop. PDF library. There we go. Okay, I think we're good. 1991. 1991 was a good year. I assume. Shoot, I certainly wasn't around to experience it. Like all Twitch streamers, obviously. I was, I'm 21 and single. Anyway. There we go. Here is the original descriptive paper for Amargasaurus. This is how this dinosaur was first brought to light to the scientific community through publication of this paper. Anybody recognize that signature right there? Might be whom I got this paper from. But, yeah. Un nuevo sauropeldo de Creasauridae, Amargasaurus casuae, Gen exponov de la formación La Amarga, neocomiano de la provincia del Nequén, Argentina, by Leonardo Salgado and Jose F. Bonaparte. Yeah, luckily the abstract is in English. The new material, this new dinosaur, is represented by the basicranial and temporal regions of the skull and most of the postcranium. Most of the postcranium means most of the skeleton. That's most of the aminal there, you know? Excuse me. Lo siento. Anyway, some of the material is illustrated here. And this is in Spanish. The number of Spanish language publications has really decreased recently. Almost everything is published in English nowadays, which, as an English speaker, it makes it easier on me, but I don't know. Is that really what we want to see in the long term? Anyway, Amargasaurus. There's the original descriptive paper. I think it's always important to show that.
Almost all of
Quilbrew.
North American identified specimens of Troodon.
Thank you for the follow, Quilbrew. Good to have you here. Let's look at a skeletal diagram of this animal. There's a Scott Hartman skeletal. You can't get better than that. Very nice. So this is how much we actually have of this animal up here. We've got most of its vertebral series, except for its caudals. We're missing some of the caudals and some of the ventral pelvic bones, missing the pubis and the ischium. But we've got a decent amount of the animal, including even some skull bones, which is really rare for a sauropod. Yeah. Given that we only have one specimen of this animal, and I do believe it is still just one specimen. Yeah, the only known skeleton was discovered in 1984, and is virtually complete except for the tail, including a fragmentary skull, making Amargasaurus one of the best-known sauropods of its epoch. Yeah. Yeah. Here's a depiction of these animals with skin stretched between those big neural spines coming off of its neck. But nowadays, we think it probably didn't have that. Vertebral spines. There you go. Both the function and appearance in life of the extremely elongated and bifurcated vertebral spines remains elusive. Look at those crazy spines on this animal's neck. So, all dinosaurs have got neural spines coming off of their vertebrae. None of them lack that entirely, but usually it's pretty understated on the neck. These guys take that and they turn it up to 11, and then they crank it up tenfold. Just crazy, crazy long neural spines. Like, what the heck is going on with this? Like a cobra mohawk. There you go, Gimnell. Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah. Yeah. That is a lot of a skeleton, Freya's Fury. We've got a decent amount of Amargasaurus, but we only have one animal. And any idea of its age, Ryoya? That is an excellent question. We talk all about that here on this channel. The ontogeny of dinosaurs is extraordinarily important. How old was this critter when it died? Yeah. Nell says early Cretaceous. We know that. But how old was this individual when it died? And what would, if it's not full grown, what would a full grown adult look like?
Ontogeny.
There's a reconstruction without the cervical sail, just basically bare spines coming off of its neck. Yeah. But this last year, a detailed study by Ignacio Acerda and colleagues analyzing the structure, morphology, and microanatomy of the vertebral spines of Amargasaurus and an indeterminate Dicrasaurid from the La Amarga Formation suggested the spines were not covered in a keratinous sheath as previously believed. Osteohistology of the spine suggests that they were likely, if not exclusively, covered in a sail of skin. The spines were also highly vascularized and bear cyclical growth marks, adding credence to this theory. Interesting stuff. So it could very well be that this is the hypothesis that's the true one. We need more fossils. We need to dig up more of these animals. Amargasaurus is not a particularly large sauropod. It could very well be that this animal is not fully grown. I don't know if anybody's actually done histo on it, have they? Yeah. Yep, nobody's actually done histo on... Well, shoot, do we even have limb bones from this critter? Do we have, like, a tibia? I forget. I don't remember if we do. Amargasaurus skeletal. We do have a tib. Okay. They should cut that tibia open. Count the growth rings inside. Figure out how old this animal was when it died. Because that would be very instructive. If it's just a juvenile, oh boy, then that would tell us a lot, you know? Yeah. So yeah, anyway. Amargasaurus. Very cool animal. I can tell you one thing. Whatever's going on with that animal's neck, whether these vertebral spines are covered by skin or covered by keratin or whatever.
500 bits goes a long way towards supporting science. I'll preach here on Twitch.
Thank you, GP Bear.
Cotylyrhynchus's head so disproportionately small?
No, it's just that its body is so big, GP Bear. Maybe we'll talk about that in a minute. But yeah. Anyway, the spines on Amargasaurus, whether they're covered by a sail of skin or by flesh or by, you know, keratin over those spines, I can tell you one thing, it probably would have been brightly colored, no matter what. This is a structure that seems to have evolved for display. You don't evolve a crazy flamboyant structure like that and then just make it battleship gray. It's gonna be brightly colored no matter what's going on. Oh yeah. I do really like this reconstruction right here. I like that a lot. This to me feels very plausible. I like it. I like it a lot. Yeah. And is histology becoming a more standard practice? It is, Truckhorn. Not nearly quickly enough, but it is slowly but surely becoming a more standard practice. Yeah. And holy cow, that was 500 bits from GP Bear. Let's talk about Cotylyrhynchus a little bit. This pre-dinosaurian synapsid. And by the way, thank you, Astronomy Show, for requesting such a cool dinosaur there. It's always fun to talk about Amargasaurus. Yeah. Good stuff. Let's return to the Accursed Bird website. And I think... yeah, Jack Seng from Berkeley was posting about Cotylyrhynchus a little while ago. Let me see if I can find that, because I think I liked that post. Which is a nice way to... yeah, there we go. So Jack says, I called Cotylyrhynchus the ugliest synapsid known, to some audible gasps from my Berkeley Integrative Biology Age of Dinosaurs class today. I stand by my statement with Exhibit A. Hashtag sorry, not sorry. Cotylyrhynchus. This is a critter from before the dinosaurs. So this is 1000% not a dinosaur. I want you to be aware of that. I don't know why it's so hesitant here. I think Twitter is having some real server issues. I swear, ever since that knucklehead bought Twitter, the platform has just been completely crashing and burning, just totally falling apart. There are features breaking every single day. Goodness. Anyway, Cotylyrhynchus. It does have a very small head, and this doesn't even really do that justice.
This game of paleontology, much larger mystery still remains.
And, holy cow, Treecomb, thank you for the follow. Welcome to Paleontologizing. Good to have you here. Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, Bobby Bosenegger says, I love the idea that there are some K-Sid fans out there who get offended. Anyway. Wow, this has really gotten a lot of attention. Yeah. Anyway, Cotylyrhynchus is one of these cool critters that lived long before the dinosaurs. Yeah. There we are. It had a ridiculously small head. And I don't study these animals. I really can't tell you why. I mean, like a ridiculously small head. I mean, oh boy. Like, look at this. That's not a mistake. That's actually how small its head was. You know? Yeah. Nuts. Look at that. That's crazy. Why why is this dang head so small? It is impressive, GP Bear. Yeah. Yeah. Crazy. This is like Cotylyrhynchus has basically got like anti-bobblehead syndrome. You know? It's like the opposite of one of those awful what are they called? Funky Pops? There you go. Funko Pops. It's like the opposite of one of these. It's got the tiniest little head. Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, holy cow. Cotylyrhynchus. What a wild creature. Yeah. And its head is just like it's almost reducing its head to the point where and you look at that skull and it's like, why are you reducing your head? It's like if you're trying to evolve a smaller and smaller and smaller head, this is exactly what you would do until you're just eye socket and nares and some little teeth right there. Big teeth, actually. Those teeth are pretty large in proportion to the skull. Why? Why would you do that? And I really don't know. Yeah, the head was very small compared to the size of the body. The body was massive, barrel-shaped, and ended with a long tail. The limbs were short and robust. I mean, why? I honestly don't know. I don't know. It's a vestigial head, Dr. Dinosaurus. Are these guys on their way to evolving headlessness? Like certain sauropods, maybe? Why? I don't get it. I don't know why. I legitimately don't know why. Incredibly weird animals, though. They're just really strange. Yeah. There you go, GP Bear. Yeah. Yeah. Why is the head so small? Yeah. Yeah. The very short neck implied a low amplitude of vertical movements of the head, which precluded the large species from feeding at ground level. So the neck and head were so small that these critters could not feed at ground level when they're full grown. Like, what? If you're going to evolve a really long neck, then it makes sense to end small in your head, like sauropod dinosaurs do. But these guys don't have. It's like if they'd been allowed to continue to evolve, the head would have just gotten smaller and smaller and just gotten resorbed into the body until these animals are just walking around, you know, like a kid with his head, you know, tucked into his sweatshirt. know? Yeah. Yeah, I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't get it. They're really weird. What do they eat? Plants. Amelia Bedelia. Yeah. Cotylyrhynchus was a plant-eating aminal. Yeah. It's a large herbivorous casid. Caseid? I don't work on Permian vertebrates, so I don't even know how to pronounce this thing. Is it a caseid or a casid? Gah. Let's see if we can find a YouTube video about it, maybe. See if somebody else has got some expertise that they would like to share via the magic of YouTube. Cotylyrhynchus. Yeah. Trying to find what looks like maybe a good video about it, but
let's protect our fossils, because if they're removed,
Dawson,
forever.
Thank you, Dawson. The tier 1 sub, really appreciate that, Dawson. Thank you. And here, a video from Paleodraw. Is this the same Paleodraw who sometimes appears here in chat? Like one of our subscribers here? Let's take a look.
Hey guys, how's it going? It's Paleodraw here, and it's time for Prehistoric Gain of the Month. Today's episode is all about Cotylyrhynchus. What?
Cotylyrhynchus.
Alright. We're just going to say Cotty. We're just going to call it Cotty. How's that? Alright. Anyway,
okay.
Today's episode is all about Cotty, which was suggested by Retrudux. I'll have his links in the description, so definitely check his stuff out. Alright, without any further ado, let's begin. Cotty is a really big synapsid that's found in southern parts of North America. It's best known as a member of the clade Cassidae, which had some of the largest prehistoric synapsids ever to exist. They probably ate most of plants, but because they're big size...
There's Cotylyrhynchus right there. It's the biggest of all of these guys. They're kind of superficially iguana-like. That's kind of what they remind me of. They remind me of like an herbivorous iguana. But just huge.
Synapsids ever to exist. They probably ate mostly plants, but because they're big size, nothing really would have tried to kill them just because they're about twice as big as any other things that were around them. Some interesting things about Cotties is that they had a really disproportionate head compared to its big barrel-looking type body.
Yeah.
They were about 20 feet long.
GB Bear says, they're a walking beanbag chair. That's pretty excellent. Yeah, a walking beanbag chair with a chihuahua's head. Well, it's not chihuahua-shaped, but anyway.
Could have gotten up to 2 tons in weight. They're so big that even Dimetrodon would have only been like half its size. The thing is, their size wasn't just...
Look at that! It's crazy. I do not work on synapsids. I have just about zero insight into this. The one scenario that leaps to mind for me is that maybe these critters, they happened upon a scenario where it behooved them to evolve larger and larger body size, and that it was almost like an arms race with themselves or something like that, where like the bigger they could make their body, the better they did. Like maybe they're eating really low quality plant material or something like that, so they need a lot of gut space or something, but they eat slowly, so they don't need a large head, and so their body is just evolving, this is ballooning in size over tens of thousands of years. You know, generation after generation, their bodies get bigger and bigger and bigger, and their head just doesn't catch up. But it worked for them, and so it just stayed that way. Like, I don't know. Yeah, weird.
Just for defense. Their bodies had to have big digestive organs to get the maximum amount of nutrients from everything it ate.
Sure.
And it ate a lot. Their bodies weren't the only thing that were big, though. They had really big nose holes, which were probably used for better breathing and for finding food easier. And it really does
Maybe
make
for heat
sense why God
dissipation?
would have given this animal better smell. Since they probably looked for food 24/7, it's hard to walk around a lot when your body's basically a big scaly jelly donut.
I mean, that's the thing, is that those nares probably evolved for heat dissipation, I would imagine. Because when you've got a huge gut like this, and it's fermenting plant material, you've got to have somewhere for that heat to go so that you don't just, like, fry your brain. Maybe that's also part of why the reason the head was still so small, is that maybe that is a little bit... you're less likely to addle your brain, like, just cook that thing in there, in your skull, if your skull is smaller. If everything is smaller, it's maybe less likely to overheat? I really don't know. These are incredibly weird animals. Just really strange.
Their sense of smell would also come in handy when finding food that other animals couldn't see, a bit like how pigs snuff out truffles on the ground. Another interesting thing is that
But I'm not necessarily convinced that a large nares actually means a great sense of smell, though. That's a great illustration. Holy cow. That looks like Yashua Kinube's style, almost. But anyway, yeah, I'm not convinced that a big nares, a big, nostril opening means acute sense of smell. I'm not convinced of that at all. I'd love to see an endocast of these critters' brains. Look how big the olfactory centers are on them. I don't know. I don't know if these critters would have had a particularly good sense of smell at all. I kind of doubt it. But anyway, Cotylyrhynchus, really weird animal. They're incredibly strange. So yeah. And Lilithobos says, if you look at animals who live in the desert like Arabian horses, they tend to have smaller heads. So my bet is that's an advantage to coping with the heat. That would make a lot of sense, Lilithobo. It would make a lot of sense, I guess. Yeah. They can always be tipsy. There you go, Bambi. Yes, sure. And the nares explanation smells funny to you? A little Moosey Fate, yeah. Here, we'll go back to the Wikipedia article, and I'll see if there's anything about smell. Nothing. What about olfactory? Nothing. Yeah. Anyway, I don't think these critters probably would have had a particularly good sense of smell. Yeah. These are probably just giant fermentation vats on legs. They're walking around, they're eating low-quality plant material. They're fermenting it in their cavernous gut. And their head didn't have to get big, because it was fine how it was, and so it just stayed that way, I guess. Maybe this is a response to the flora changing during the Permian period. Maybe low quality plant material became really common all of a sudden, and one particular kind of casid, a member of this family, started eating it, and then they were naturally selected to get bigger and bigger and bigger guts, and they just did that really fast, and they were able to just take off. They became super common, really successful. And their heads just never caught up because they didn't have to. I don't know. That would make sense. I wonder how you would actually go about testing that hypothesis. I do not work on Permian vertebrates. These pre-dinosaurian, synapsid, proto-mammalian critters. I don't work on them.
Science is like a blabbermouth who ruins a movie by telling you how it ends. Well, I say there are some things we don't want to know. Important things.
Oh my Gala, thank you for the follow. Welcome to Paleontologizing. So yeah. They're like Jabba the Hutt, Amelia and Bedelia, yeah. Anyway, and I don't know if they were semi-aquatic 7 cards. I mean, casids are generally considered to be a terrestrial, though a semi-aquatic lifestyle has been proposed by some authors. That would make a lot of sense if they had kind of like a hippo-like existence, perhaps. Yeah. It's possible the animals became bogged down in the water hole and they lived in China. Semi-aquatic lifestyle. There's a whole debate about that, apparently. Yeah. Huh. I don't have a horse in that fight. I work on dinosaurs. These guys are foreign to me. Unfamiliar. Like, I don't know the first thing about these critters. Or I barely know the first thing. No false modesty. Yeah. Let's see. They very well could have been semi-aquatic. Interesting. Huh. Would have been the ecological equivalent of modern hippos, passing part of their time in the water, being underwater walkers rather than swimming animals, but coming onto the land for food. Interesting. Anyway, if you want to learn more about this critter, Cotylyrhynchus, this incredible pre-dinosaurian synapsid, believe it or not, this critter is more closely related to you. This critter is more closely related to you and to me than it is to any dinosaur. This is close to the ancestry of mammals. So yeah. Yeah. And oh my Gala, thank you for being here. Appreciate you. Yeah. Rhynchus the Chonk. There you go, Nell. Spinosaur before its time? Yeah. Yeah, maybe I should get into these critters. And you have several semi-aquatic relatives, so that makes sense. Is that right, 7 cards? How close of relatives? Yeah. Anyway. Good stuff. What a weird animal. Cotylyrhynchus. Strange, strange, strange critter. Super weird. But yeah. Yeah. Anywho, you know what I've noticed? We are here at the very top of the science and technology category, which means it is time to switch categories here. Oh boy. Let's go ahead and switch to just chatting from science and technology. There we go. The whole point here is not to be king of the mountain for science communication. It's to try and bring new people in. Talk to them about science. Try and get new people interested in the history of life on our incredible planet Earth. Show you that, you know, this whole paleontology thing, this isn't rocket surgery. But it is really interesting. It's not as intimidating as it is fascinating, and you can make discoveries yourself in fossil science if you put your mind to it. So yeah. And is the critter's head smaller than a stegosaur's in proportion to its body? I don't think so, Moosey Fate. I think it's actually got a slightly bigger head in proportion to a stegosaur. Yeah. Anyway. Yeah. An astronomy show, I appreciate you for helping. Thank you. Yeah. Anyway, why don't we get into some fossil news here? It has been far too long since we've covered some fossil news. Let's get into that. Again, tomorrow we're going to be talking about this news about the dodo and the possibility of de-extincting it. But for right now, let's do some fossil news, including, let's talk about that new pterosaur here on Fossil News. All right, welcome everyone to Fossil News. This is the part of Paleontologizing where we talk about new fossil discoveries. We go over new papers. We look at stuff in the news. We talk about new fossil animals. So to start off, it has been like, what, 2 weeks now? Before I've been able to get to this? 8 days ago, this video was posted. And this is a video from Joshua Knupe, whose name I just mentioned a little while ago. he also streams here on Twitch under the title Paleostream, or the channel name Paleostream. He's a paleo artist, and I think he actually did the illustrations for this brand new pterosaur, brand new flying reptile. So let's take a look at that.
150 million years ago, during the late Jurassic, what is nowadays Europe was largely covered by shallow tropical seas.
This is true. Yeah.
These seas were dotted with thousands of small islands that were inhabited by dozens of species of different pterosaurs, flying reptiles.
Very cool.
Most famously, a couple of small towns in southern Germany have yielded hundreds of their fossils. But recently a quarry near Wattendorf, much further north, has brought to light an abundance of fossils from this time. Besides turtles, fish, and even marine crocodilians, the most famous find from this quarry is a nearly complete specimen of a new kind of pterosaur.
Very cool.
This new species is called Paleontologizing moiseri.
And Paleontologizing, who can tell me what that name means? Paleontologizing, that genus name. Ooh, any guesses? If we have any Spanish or maybe Portuguese speakers in the chat, I bet you they might have a clue about that, about the first two syllables there. Lenina says something jaw. You got the hard part, Lenina. Not shovel jaws. Good guess, Freya's Fury. Baleen jaw, says Jody Fish. I think it's supposed to be, like the Spanish ballena, whale. Whale jaw, I think. There you go, Victorious. I think you're right, yeah.
And while not especially large, it shows many other spectacular features. Most prominent are the hundreds of teeth that appear pointy, but actually bear little caps and hooks that makes them blunt.
Really weird.
In addition, the jaws are curved upwards and their tips are completely toothless.
So these are illustrations that Joshua actually did for publication here. I guess he was contacted to do the illustrations for this brand new animal, which is really, really cool. I mean, to be able to help bring an extinct creature back to life for the first time through your illustrations, what an honor. Holy cow, that is really, really neat that he was able to do this.
While the palate bears a large keel that is nearly as deep as the lower jaw.
Ooh.
All this points to Paleontologizing being a specialized filter feeder. And wading through the shallow waters, looking for small crustaceans and fish.
Interesting stuff.
Its evolution might have been aided by frequent plankton blooms coming through the Hessian Strait. This means that Paleontologizing might have been endemic to the little islands of the Wattendorf archipelago.
Yeah, unique to that area.
Its discovery sheds light on the incredible biodiversity of late Jurassic pterosaurs and makes hope for new spectacular discoveries from the Wattendorf quarries.
Pretty awesome stuff. Here is a link to that video there. If you're not yet following Paleostream, I suggest you do so. Both on YouTube and here on Twitch, especially here on Twitch. But isn't that cool? Yeah. Paleontologizing. Let's see if we can find a press write-up about that. There we go. Yeah. Never before seen pterosaur had nearly 500 teeth and ate like a flamingo. Kind of. Never born... Yeah, it had hundreds of hooked teeth that helped filter its food in a way similar to living flamingos. Those are different illustrations than the ones that we just saw, but yeah. During the late Jurassic, a pterosaur with an unusually shaped bill, lined with hundreds of tiny hooked teeth, stalked the waters of what is now Bavaria, Germany. The now extinct animal gulped down its seafood prey while wading in ancient ponds and lakes, and probably on the seashore as well. Just like flamingos chow down today, a new study shows. Ancient ponds and lakes, I think this is probably primarily a shallow water marine animal. In lagoons, more likely than ponds and lakes, but whatever. Anyway, really cool stuff. Yeah, the specimen, which had a wingspan of around 3.6 feet, or 1.1 meters, contained 480 teeth that were between 0.08 and 0.43 inches, 2 and 11 millimeters long. The second highest number of gnashers found in any pterosaur. Pretty neat. Yeah, and Dave Martill was involved with this, I guess. Yeah, there's some flamingos filter feeding there. Pretty neat. Pretty neat. Yeah, cool stuff. I don't work on pterosaurs. These guys are not dinosaurs, by the way. I want to make that very clear. These guys lived at the same time as the dinosaurs, and they were closely related to dinosaurs, but they're not dinosaurs themselves. Pterosaurs, they're not. So yeah. Yeah. And thank you, Green Minstrel, for being here. I'll see you next time. Yeah. 500 teeth is only number 2 on the list? I guess so, Victorious. I guess so. I wonder who does have more teeth. It might be Pterodastro. Pterodastro has got these, which... Are they teeth? Are they... What are they? Gah. Anyway. What a weird animal. But it probably used its teeth / baleen plate / whatever for kind of filter feeding. This might hold the record for the most teeth, if you can call those teeth. Pterodastro. Yeah. Over 750 specimens have been collected? Holy cow, we've got a lot of fossils of this animal. That's amazing. Yeah. Let's see. Teeth stand for the most part not separate alveoli, but 2 long grooves parallel to the edges of the jaw. Oh. Edges of the jaw. How many, though? I don't know. I'm guessing Pterodastro might have more teeth. But again, I'm not a pterosaur guy, so off the top of my head, this is just a guess, you know? A huge underbite. There you go, paramedics. Yes, indeed. Pterodastro, what an incredible animal. There's a restored skull right there. Yeah, wild, wild beastie there. Pterodastro. What a neat animal. So yeah. Yeah. So filter feeding pterosaur, the idea is not unique, but this seems to be independently evolved. So this critter here, Pterodastro, and this new one, Baleontologizing, have got very, very different, you know, mouth setups going on here. This is an example of, it appears to be an example of what we call convergent evolution, where 2 different creatures independently evolve very similar traits, despite not being super close relatives. So yeah. Yeah, pretty neat stuff. Yeah. Very, very cool. So there's that. And that's about all I can say about this critter, not being someone who works on pterosaurs. I try and stay in my lane as much as possible with stuff like this. And, yeah. There you go. So, very cool stuff. We've got another cool paper to discuss as well. Not about pterosaurs. We're going to fast forward in time closer to the present. Much closer to the present. And let's talk about this. Here. Pull that up again. I actually made a YouTube video ages ago that kind of, presages this a bit, presages this. What is paleontologizing? Oh boy, goodness. Yeah, this is an idea that I came up with a long time ago. This video is from, what year? 5 years ago. Please excuse the dog water quality of the audio and video in this, and how stilted and everything it sounds. This is before I really knew how to do any of that editing stuff. Back when I was still trying to make it on YouTube. Believe it or not. Gugh, that didn't work out. But, yeah, this is gonna segue us into this other paper that we're gonna talk about, but here. Yeah.
I think it's high time that scientists took ownership of how their science is represented. Now, first off, having useful vocabulary can help with this. Many occupations actually have their own specific verbs, which help to frame their work in active, forceful ways.
Yeah.
From becoming an abstraction. But most scientific fields don't have their own verbs. Fossil science doesn't. And sometimes I worry that this failure of vocabulary might make paleontology seem dry and distant.
Funny.
What's funny?
Well, a girl like you, a paleontologist,
What's wrong with paleontology?
classifying old bones.
Oh, bones.
I wanted to do something about that. I wanted a word. So like any moderately creative person, I decided to come up with my own. I like to call it Paleontologizing. It's kind of a joke, kind of an overtly jargony sounding word.
Yeah.
But it also speaks to what I really do, in a broad kind of way. It speaks to the idea that paleontology isn't just a body of knowledge, like a book lying there on a shelf.
Yeah.
No. It's a process. It's something that you do. It's a way to think. Put simply, paleontologizing is looking at the world around us in a way that's informed by the study of fossils. This can manifest in a lot of different ways. Like realizing that the pronghorn, also called the antelope, happens to be the fastest runner in the Western Hemisphere. And there's a very good reason for that. It's because until one of its predators went extinct fairly recently, it had to be that fast, just for everyday survival.
Oh yeah, that's why I wanted to show you this here. Man, I really thought that had a harder punch than it did, but I guess not. The pronghorn is one of my favorite North American mammals. Anteaters, I think is the genus. Anteaters, I don't know, I don't remember what the species name is, but we'll look it up on the Tree of Life real quick. Pronghorn antelope. So you know the old song, Home on the Range? You know, home on the range where the deer and the antelope play? Well, America doesn't have any antelope. We don't. There are no New World antelope. Those are, you know, they exist in Asia, they used to exist in Europe, and they exist in Africa. But nowhere else on Earth. The pronghorn, sometimes called the pronghorn antelope, even though they're not antelope. Well, they're not antelope. Let me show you. Pronghorn. You'll see they're off on a branch all by themselves when we zoom down to it. Yeah. There you go. All by their lonesome there. Pronghorn. Anteaters americana. How could I forget that? Yeah. Their closest living relatives are giraffes and okapi, But there used to be all different kinds of Antelocaprids here in North America. Antelocapridae. All kinds of really cool, weird pronghorn type critters. Like this one right here. And these ones there. And where's Synthetosaurus? He should be here too somewhere. Look at those. Different Antelocaprids. All kinds of weird and wacky variations on this theme that make our modern pronghorn look positively tame by comparison. You know?
Almost all of the North American identified specimens of Troodon.
Flitzanu, thank you for the follow. Welcome to Paleontologizing. Yeah. There's another Antelocaprid right there. Not a modern pronghorn, but an early relative. And yeah. What weird and wild and wacky critters. Well, they weren't weird and wild and wacky. They were very good at doing what they did. You know, very well adapted to their environments. But today, the only member of this group, Antelocapridae, that is still around is the American pronghorn. Today, they are the fastest animals in North America. Let's take a look at them real quick, actually. Here we go. Lovely video from the American Prairie Reserve, whom I've worked with before. I once did a paleontological survey of their land with Denver Fowler and co.
They're called pronghorn because each horn has a long point that turns and then a prong coming off each side of it.
Yeah.
This species is only found in the Great Plains of North America, and it's our only species like them.
Yep, the only Antelocaprids left.
Their favorite habitat is the habitat that we have around here, which is called sagebrush steppe. One of their primary foods, especially in the wintertime when there's snow, is sagebrush, because sagebrush is just high enough to be above the snow that they can forage it pretty readily. An average adult animal would weigh 60, 70 pounds. Somebody has described them before as a sausage on sticks. They have a fairly robust body and little spindly feet.
Yeah.
They are the fastest land mammal we have in North America. They
yeah.
During the Pleistocene and evolved with other predators that were much faster. We used to have lions here, we used to have fast bears here, and we used to have cheetahs here. So
that's what we're talking about.
And that's why they are so fast. So they can easily run now coyotes, wolves, bears. They're really hard for anything to kill except when they're little babies and when they're vulnerable.
Yeah.
When they're alarmed, all the hairs on their rump go up, and so that alerts other, similar to a white-tailed deer when they flag, put up their tail, the white hairs on the rump of a pronghorn go up and they all take off running. Through their nostrils, they give a snort that they blow out through their nostrils. Again, like when they raise their tail hairs, the white flash of their rump, they make that blow to notify others that there's a threat out there, and let's group up and let's run away together. They're also, though, very curious. If you're relatively close, they may come to you. Sometimes people wave or wave a red hanky, and pronghorn sometimes come walking to you, and that's to investigate who you are and what you are. The idea is that evolutionary, that showed that they've spotted the predator. No need to waste your time running after me because we've got this figured out.
They're so fast, it's like, don't even bother chasing.
They'll have their fawns from about middle of May through the middle of June, all at the same time. Pronghorn hide their babies out in areas with shrubby cover, and then they go away. They go up to a mile away, so then it's hard again for predators to find them because the moms don't give away their location. Eventually, after 3 or 4 weeks, they'll be old enough and fast enough that they can keep up with the moms. The moms move back and merge with other moms, and then they're safe.
Interesting stuff. I did not know that. I've since forgotten this. I'm sure I knew it before.
They're really unique and a pretty special species here on the Great Plains.
Pretty awesome. Pronghorn. They are so cool. So we would see these all the time out on the American Prairie Reserve or elsewhere in Montana, in the places where I would do field work. Pronghorn are one of my very favorite modern mammals. They're really, really cool. And they're very special. Holy moly, are they special. But there's an idea about pronghorn. Like, why in the world would these animals be able to run at 40 miles an hour or faster if none of their predators are even remotely that fast nowadays? Well, it's because, it seems, they actually evolved that incredible speed to outrun some of their predators who are no longer around. Here's a cool new paper from the journal Quaternary International. Excuse me. Were pronghorns and Telacapra primary prey for North American cheetahs? Maracinonyx. That's the idea, is that they evolved to outrun the American cheetah, who's now extinct. This paper tests that idea. Before we get into that, let me introduce you to the American cheetah. Maracinonyx. The American cheetah. There's 2 species in genus Maracinonyx, endemic to North America during the Pleistocene epoch, or about 2.6 million years ago, until just 12,000 years ago. The first people in North America lived alongside these critters, the American cheetah. That's Maracinonyx trumani, looking very worried there at its impending extinction. I'm sorry, buddy. Oh, boy. But yeah, and I think, yeah, Nell, I'm pretty sure the current thinking is these animals are not closely related to African cheetahs, and so cheetah is probably a misnomer here. They seem to probably be more closely related to puma. You know, cougars, mountain lions, pumas. Puma concolor, the North American mountain lion. Or American mountain lion in general. They were larger than the modern cheetah and similar in size to a modern northern cougar. These cats were originally known from fragments of skeletons, but nearly complete skeletons have been recovered from natural trap cave in northern Wyoming. I did not know that. That's exciting. When did this happen? 1993? Okay. Huh. Yeah. They were similar in morphology to the modern cheetah, with faces shortened and nasal cavities expanded for increased oxygen capacity, with legs proportioned for swift running. However, these similarities may not be inherited from a common ancestor, but may instead result from either parallel or convergent evolution. Anyway, it's thought that these guys would have been very fast runners. Not a lot is known about them, oddly enough. There are at least a few, like, master's or PhD projects in here. Somebody is going to go in and, like, change our thinking about American cheetahs and figure out what's going on with them. And I guess this paper is a step in that direction. Cool stuff. So let's take a look. I'm not going to be able to look at the actual paper itself, because, shoot, I don't have $28 to spend on this right now. Especially with our sub goal right there. But, yeah, we'll read the abstract at least, and we'll talk about that a little bit. That'll be nice fodder for discussion. So the pronghorn antelope and Telacapra of western North America has long been enigmatic, mysterious, because they are the second fastest modern land mammal. They're the only critter that's faster than them today is the cheetah in Africa. But they have no natural predators that can come close to matching their speed. With the discovery of the now extinct North American cheetah, Maracinonyx, the hypothesis was put forward that the incredible speed of pronghorns was related to being the primary prey of the fleet-footed Maracinonyx. However, there has been no direct means to test that relationship. And this is the thing that you got to remember about science is all about testing ideas. Anybody can come up with a story that might seem really compelling for why this or that might be the case. But it's not science until you can test it. Until you can find a way to actually run an experiment, be it an experiment in the lab or a natural experiment that you might you know, performed by finding new fossils or something like that that answer your question. So that's what they've done here. Laboratory experiments. Here, utilizing organic molecule-rich bones from the natural trap cave, it is possible to test the predator-prey relationship between Anteaters and Marasononyx through isotopic analysis of bone collagen. So they're looking at molecules in these bones and using that to test the idea that American cheetahs were eating pronghorns. Offsets in carbon and nitrogen isotopes between predator and prey are used to establish or discount predator-prey relationships between common predators found in natural trap cave, including wolves, genus Canis, cheetah-like cats, Marasononyx, and North American lions, Panthera, with prey species like horses, Equus and Harrington-hippus, pronghorns, Anteaters, sheep, ovis, and bison. I like that. Bison. Results provide support. Results provide support the hypothesis. That's a typo. Oh boy, don't have a typo in your abstract. Results provide support the hypothesis. Should be results provided support the hypothesis that Marasononyx preyed upon Anteaters, but not exclusively. Anteaters was also important prey for lions and wolves. Wolves appear to have fed more often on horses than lions or cheetahs. I assume they mean that wolves ate horses more often than lions or cheetahs did, and not wolves fed more often on horses than they fed on lions or cheetahs. Although I suppose that's probably also true. Either way you cut it, that works. But anyway, the idea that the American cheetah did eat pronghorns is supported here, but American cheetahs didn't just eat pronghorn. Honestly, no surprises there. Few critters are that specialized. That's a quick recipe for going extinct. You know? When you over-specialize in your food and you only eat one thing. Oh boy. Yeah. You're just asking to go extinct if you only eat one thing. I'm looking at you, panda bears. Yeah. But yeah. So interesting stuff. Very interesting. Let's see if we can find an image of that. Pronghorn and American cheetah. Ho, there you go. Beautiful. Lovely illustration. And they even managed to make it look kind of like a cougar, like it very well might have been. There's another illustration there. That is a lovely one. Very cool. Yeah. Mayor Spaces don't just eat macaroni and cheese for several reasons. Yeah, Mayor Space. Oh boy, that'd be constipation central. Yeah. And pandas are bears, Alec. Yeah, they are. There were some people who thought that they were related to raccoons, but molecular phylogenetics shows that they're related to other bears. So yeah. Anyway, yeah. And I'll see you later, Nell. You get some good sleep. Yeah. Anyway, very cool stuff. This is really neat. So again, a reminder that just a few thousand years ago, here in North America, we didn't just have pronghorn and American cheetah and sandhill cranes. We had Columbian mammoths. We had North American horses, American lions, gigantic bison, short-faced bears, all kinds of cool critters. By all rights, these animals should still be around today. Geologically speaking, they existed like last Thursday. Super recent in the grand scheme of things. 12,000 years ago is nothing. But they disappeared shortly after the first people came to North America. This is kind of a common pattern. It seems like after we human beings first evolved in Africa and spread out across the globe, just about everywhere that we ended up, most of the big mammals in those environments died out. Whether it's in Europe, or Asia, or Australia, or North America, or South America. Most, if not all, of the really big mammals went completely extinct. On land, at least. Whaling didn't come until later, and it very well might be because of overhunting. I think that probably is the case, and that would also explain why, say, on the great continent of Africa, where we first evolved, we were evolving alongside proboscideans like elephants, mammoths, and zebras, and hippos, and everything else. So they learned how to deal with us. But when we blitzkrieged our way across the rest of the world, other critters just did not know how to handle us. And they quickly, one by one, went extinct. There's still an ongoing debate among people who study Pleistocene critters. Critters, very recent animals from the Pleistocene, long, like tens of millions of years after the extinction of the dinosaurs. This is, geologically speaking, last Thursday, because we're talking about humans coexisting with them, remember? There's a big debate among Pleistocene paleontologists. Yeah. Extinction causes. Quaternary extinction event. Here's the article for that. You can read about it more in depth if you would like to here. But yeah. The causes of the late Pleistocene extinction event are debated and may be co-occurring. Among the main causes hypothesized by paleontologists are overkill by the widespread appearance of humans and natural climate change. It almost certainly was a combination of factors. It's never going to be just one thing. In real life, it's never, ever, ever quite that simple when you're dealing with complex questions like this. But, anyway. I personally put more credence in this idea, that it's overhunting by humans, but again, who cares what I think? I don't work on Pleistocene stuff. My opinion doesn't actually matter. I'm not a researcher in this area. I've not studied these things firsthand. Who cares what I think? I work on dinosaurs. Let's let the Pleistocene paleontologists deal with the Pleistocene stuff, you know? I'm not saying I'm not interested in this, but my interest in it is purely amateur. Dinosaurs are what I actually do, you know? So yeah. You put your credence in Clearwater Revival? I hope that pans out for you, you know? Yeah. And aren't you a fortunate son to be able to do that in Mayor Space? Did I get that? That is the right band, right? I hope it is. Shoot. Anyway. Yeah. And Paramedics Underground says, totally off topic, assuming you are saving every Twitch episode, isn't it crazy to think you'll have family in the future with millions of hours of footage of you? Imagine having that much video of your great-grandfather. I don't know if I'm going to have kids, paramedics, but okay. Yeah. That is a cool idea. You'll be a living fossil, just an interesting thought. True. I don't know how rare that's going to be, though, for people in our day and age, you know? Yeah, think about all the people on TikTok and YouTube and Facebook, you know? So, yeah. Until you see that bad moon rising. There you go, Raptor. Yes. And you saw a raptor the other day while looking... Let's go. Zoot, zoot, zoot. Looking out your back door. Count 0. What kind of raptor? Was it a red-tailed hawk? An owl? Yeah. And humans could have spread disease in their expansion. That too. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Anyway. With that being said, it is time for us to wrap up our broadcast for the day. So let's go ahead and do that. Don't go away yet, chat. We're going to go raid somebody. And there's a saber-toothed cat, Smilodon, to run under our credits for the day. Speaking of Pleistocene mammals, who met their end shortly after the introduction of humans to North America, and later South America, too. Who is live on Twitch right now? Thank you to everybody whose names are showing up there in the credits. Really appreciate you and all of your support. It means a whole lot to me. It really does. And holy moly, Ant Streams is live right now. We're going to go say hello to Balint over there. Let's go raid Balint at Ant Streams. There we go. Thank you everybody for another wonderful stream. I hope you had fun today. I know I did. It's always excellent talking about these things with you, and I appreciate your viewership, your attention, your questions, your financial support. All of you resubscribers and gifters and cheerers, it means a lot to me. It really does. Thank you. Tomorrow we'll be talking about the dodo, which is incontrovertibly a victim of human overhunting. That is why the critter went extinct. Should we resurrect the dodo? Should we bring it back? Can we bring it back? We'll talk about the company that's announced that they're going to try and do that. So we'll talk about that tomorrow. Make sure you tune in then, everybody. It should be a lot of fun. But until then, you all take care of yourselves. Thank you to supporters and moderators and everybody else. Appreciate you more than you know. Let's go pass on some science love now to Balint over at Ant Streams. I will see you there. Take care, everybody.